Hello, welcome everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome. How are you? How is everyone? Happy Fun Day Sunday. So today we'll be covering chapters 15 through 17, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. This book is really good. It has really, and if you have not read it, this is a book that he covers every area, every facet of life, and he gives you different affirmations or words to live by to transform your thinking. As scripture says, in order to be transformed, you have to do what first? Renew your mind. It's an inner work. The work is mental. It was never meant to be physical. When James says, without faith without works is dead, the work the scriptures are referring to is mental. It's never about anything you do physically. It's what you do mentally. And that's what we have to understand, right? We're so busy trying to change the outside. We're so busy trying to change other people. But we don't want to change our perspective of ourselves. We don't want to change how we see ourselves. We want to continue to see the world as it is and think the world is supposed to change. No, the world changes once we change. When we get a different perspective of the world, then the world changes. It's really that simple. So you have to decide, what world do you want to live in? Do you want to continue to live in hell, or do you want to create your heaven? Because there are states of consciousness. That's what you're living in hell based on your negativity, your doubt, your fear, your limiting beliefs. Your heaven comes from harmony, peace, joy, success, all right? Health, wealth, wisdom. And so if you are familiar with this book, you are welcome to come up in the box. If you're familiar with the book and you want to, or you're just familiar with the power of the mind, right? You realize that the cause is mental, that thoughts are things. Thoughts are creative. It's what you think about, you bring about. As scripture says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. It's what you think about you. And that's the meditation. That's the conversation. Those are the affirmations. What are you saying about yourself? Even when someone else is saying something about you that doesn't align with who you say that you are, you have the ability to accept it or reject it. You don't have to accept what anyone else is saying about you. If someone is saying something about you that is a critique, and you know within yourself that that critique is true, then thank them, accept it, and then change it. All right? You have to be willing to see what has to be transformed in order to transform it. So, hey, Fresh Air said, how do you reprogram your subconscious mind, and how do you know when you have done it successfully? Well, you do it every day through your conversation, through your meditation. As you go to sleep, you're telling yourself what it is you want to experience. And then as you arrive, and you're giving thanks for it. And then when you awake in the morning, before you get out of bed, before you look at your phone, before you check your notifications, before you get on any social media platform, spend at least 5 minutes with yourself, giving gratitude for the day and giving thanks for the day in the way you want to experience it. You know, and it can be specific or it can be general. You could just say, today was an absolutely wonderful day. I'm so thankful for it. I'm so thankful for the many blessings that have come my way. The love, the peace, the joy that I'm successful in all of my endeavors, right? This is how you are priming the pump, as they would say. This is your subconscious mind is the soil, and you're planting the seed with thought. Your thoughts are the seeds. And so you want to continuously, thank you, thank you, thank you. You want to continuously say, you know, these things over and over and over again. And it takes faith to know that it's done. You know that you successfully transform your thinking when you operate in peace and harmony, when there's a stillness in your mind, in your soul, in your body, right? When you can say, when there's no sting, when you aren't easily upset, when you're not so full of doubt and fear. I know yesterday you were saying that, you know, you doubted something and then it came anyway. And I know I told you that your reasoning mind may have still been trying to figure it out, or still trying to say, oh, this is impossible to happen. But your subconscious mind received whatever it is you were expecting. The subconscious mind is the womb of creation. And the subconscious will, whatever is impressed upon the subconscious, it trumps what's going on in the reasoning mind. Because once it's implanted, it will be expressed. Once it's impressed, it most definitely will be expressed. Now, logically, you might have been saying, oh, it's not going to happen. Oh, but here's the thing. Remember, I told you that it's that the universe doesn't know, right? It's what you give your attention to is what is created. So the thing that you said, oh, I doubted it. And I don't know what you mean by doubt. I don't know if you were speaking against it, but you were still talking about it. Were you nervous about it? And when you say doubt, I don't know how you define it, because the universe only knows, consciousness, the I am only knows what you give your attention to. And so what you give your attention to is what is produced. So you may have been saying, oh, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But because you were talking about it, that was your acceptance of it. I don't know if you remember that we did an experiment where we wanted to, I don't know if you heard me talk about this, where we wanted to see butterflies. And I decided I'm going to say I'm not going to see a butterfly, that I'm not going to see a butterfly. And guess what? I saw the butterfly because I gave my attention to a butterfly. Consciousness doesn't know negative or positive. Consciousness is neutral. Consciousness only knows, what are you talking about? What are you giving your attention to? Same thing with the experiment of the $100. I was saying, oh, I'm not going to receive the $100. I'm not going to receive, and many of you saw on live that I received my $100, right? So it's not about saying no or yes. It's about, what are you consistently giving your attention to? That's all that your subconscious mind cares about. That's it. What is your focus? Because what you think about, you bring about. Hello, Anunnaki. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Hey. Yes, happy Father's Day to all the dads. Hey, Gigi, how are you? Hey, is it Chantrell? Heavily emotional by people, to create our world positively or negatively. Yeah, your thoughts create everything. Your thoughts determine your emotions. Your thoughts determine, because if you really don't have if you don't give meaning to something, then you're not going to have an emotional reaction to it. Things that you don't really care about, you don't really think about, you don't really. And I know emotion can play a part, but it isn't required. And why I say that, because you can just use your everyday life. And I would give the example of commercial ads, especially when we watch network television or cable TV. Now we're more of a streaming platform, and streaming society. But before the streaming society, before we got to say we wanted to see a commercial or not, when you watched your favorite TV shows and those ads came across, it wasn't that you felt some way about, Kentucky Fried Chicken or Popeyes, or you felt emotionally attached to McDonald's or Coca-Cola or Pepsi. They just kept giving you that ad because they know the more you saw it, the more it would be impressed upon you. The more, they attach those jingles to it, that the more you kept seeing it, then you'd be like, oh man, I wasn't even hungry, but damn, they just keep showing me every commercial break. I'm seeing a McDonald's ad. Let me go get me some McDonald's. They could care less. When you learned your ABCs or your times table, it wasn't about you having an emotional connection to the alphabet or numbers. It was just you repetitively said it over and over again. Then it became a part of you where you didn't really have to think about it anymore, and you were able to express it and know it. Hey, Oracle, welcome, 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 welcome. You self-study hypnosis? Yes. Hey, Jasmine. Oh, it's okay. It gets better. You'll learn to, it is a journey, right? It is an experience. The more you practice, the more you choose what it is you want to experience, you will. Hey, Deniza, welcome, welcome, welcome. Gigi, you coming up in the box today? Say, hey, Deniza. You say, I noticed that patterns I have, and as I change, my old patterns get stronger, which give me more doubt. Is it because, Deniza, you look to the world for confirmation as opposed to looking within for confirmation? It's been something I've been focusing positively on for years and still haven't seen it in reality. Stop looking to see it and begin to know it. You can't see what you don't believe is there, because it's already there. It's the expectation of the how and the when that people get caught up on. The how and the when is not your work. See, you're saying there's a such thing as time. There's no time in consciousness, right? It'll happen exactly when it's supposed to happen, but it's your thinking is not there, is delaying it. But if you can just be happy without having it, then you'll see it appear. When you can let go of how and when and just be, then you're not so hyper focused on when it's going to happen, when it's going to come. Because you have to, it's a gentle, it's a thin line between, as they say, between love and hate, but there's a thin line between the desire and the knowing. And some people keep desiring as opposed to entering the knowing. You want to move from desire to knowing, to having, to being. And so give your attention to things that you enjoy, things that you love, things that give your mind to something else, right? Let go of trying to make it so and know that it's already so. You can't make it come, so stop trying. And I think that's the difficulty. People think that they can make a thing happen, so they keep trying to make it happen. And the reason why you keep trying to make it happen is the reason why it's not happening. Because I of my own self can do nothing. Got you. Okay, Gigi. Oh, nice. Beautiful, Jasmine. Yes, I love that. We love a success story. Beautiful, beautiful. Wow. Yeah, and it comes, here's the thing, guys. I realize that the trust and knowing comes more easily when you just start to focus more on you and not on the thing that you're trying to manifest. Start just loving you. What makes you feel good? Not the thing that you're trying to bring into your experience, but you, right? Like, how can you love you more? How can you do the things that you love more? Because you can do things without having money or having a significant other. Just pour the attention onto you. Give yourself the thing that you think this thing or this manifestation will bring. And I find when you start doing stuff that you love, the simple things, the little things, the easy things, when you give your attention to that, then it takes your mind off the how and the when of the manifestation. Well, don't say it's a challenge. And the knowing is during your making sure that you're getting quiet with yourself, that you're being with yourself, and how you're communicating to yourself. How are you talking to yourself? What is your conversation like? Remember, your conversation is your affirmation. That is your meditation. That is your prayer. All right. So a lot of times, many of us aren't aware that we speak against our desires instead of just being the desire. Instead of being. Less doing, less thinking. And when I say less thinking, because the scripture says, take no thought. Stop trying to think about how and when. That's the taking no thought. You've already asked for it. You've already imagined or talked about it. You've already did it. Now you're just supposed to go your way in peace. Go your way in peace, knowing that it shows up. And I know too many of us watch other people telling us, oh, it happens in 24 hours. It happens in 72 hours. They have you so committed to a timeline that you get discouraged because, oh my goodness, they got theirs in 72 hours. Oh my goodness, they got theirs in 24 hours. You don't know when their desire came. You don't know these people from anyone. You don't people you know. It's the people that you see on a day-to-day basis. And it's really not about believing in other people. It's about believing in yourself. And stop letting these people dangle that carrot in front of you about how and when something can take place. Because no man knows the day or the hour. I don't care. Just because they testify that the moment they asked for it, it instantly appeared. Just because they're telling you that, we have no idea how long ago they planted that seed dropped in the soil. We absolutely have no idea. Just because you can testify to it, there's some stuff going on in the background that we will never be privy to. And no one ever gives you all of the information, especially if they're trying to sell you something. And most of these people are trying to sell you something. They're trying to sell you an e-course, trying to sell you a one-on-one coaching. They're trying to get something from you. And so they're going over and beyond trying to convince you that it takes 24 hours or 72 hours or 2 days or this. And then when it doesn't happen, then they blame you because it hasn't happened. Well, you just didn't believe strong enough, or you just didn't have faith, or you just didn't, and then now you you beating yourself up, you feeling depressed, you feeling despondent, you feeling desperate, because, oh my goodness, maybe I did do something wrong. Maybe I didn't do the exact steps they told me to do. Oh my goodness, where did I err? Where did I mess up? You were putting your trust in man. Scripture says, well, how do you put your trust in man whose breath is in his nostrils? They don't know no more than you do. You just think they do because they sound good. Or because you see their life on TikTok or on Instagram or on YouTube. It's not about, your life is not about other people and what other people have manifested. It's about what you want to experience in your life, and taking the how and the when out of your mind, because you don't know, and you will never know, and no one else can tell you. Good morning, Sheila. Yes, it is confusing. It is confusing. That's how they rope you in, because they want to be your mentor. They want to be your coach. They want something, instead of just giving people the whole truth or giving people the real, they want to try to convince you that they know more than, don't nobody know more than another person. Everyone's experience is going to be different. Jasmine, did you want to come up? Come on up, guys, those who are ready to discuss the book. I know we've been talking about manifesting. And this is the book club. We're talking about the power of your subconscious mind. It's the power of your subconscious mind, the power of your mind, the power of your thoughts, and learning to trust and believe in you, not putting your trust in others, not putting your trust in man whose breath is in his nostrils. No, putting the trust in the I am within you. You have everything you need to manifest your reality. You have all the tools. You have all the faith that you need. Every man has been given the measure of faith. You have enough faith to bring about your desire. The only thing you have to learn how to do is remain faithful to it. That's it. Remain faithful to it. That's your only condition, is to accept the end. That's it. That's it. And am I saying it's wrong to work with coaches? No, I'm not. Just don't let them over promise, right? And then they under deliver. And a lot of times these people be over promising. They trying to, but if you know somebody is really sincere and they really care and they really want you to experience your desires, okay, that's when you got to use discernment. But if these, you got to pay attention and listen to what people are saying, right? And don't do anything out of desperation or out of fear, because then now you're not operating in trust. And so when you're operating in desperation and fear, you reap what you sow. Then you come away disappointed. Grand Rising, Delissa, welcome, welcome, welcome. Your focus should be on peace, love, joy. That's what your focus should be. Peace, love, joy. Put your focus on those things, right? And then everything else takes care of itself. That's why you're told in scripture to seek ye first the kingdom of God. But too many of us are seeking first the thing. We're seeking first the thing. Seek peace and pursue it. Seek love and be it. Seek joy and let it overflow within you. Stop looking outside of you. Everything you need is already within you. Hey, Jazz Rich Rising. Hey, Richie Jackson, what's going on? Because you have everything that you need. And I just suggest, which is what's, Neville Goddard, one thing I liked about him, he wasn't about, starting small or, but sometimes maybe that's some things that some of us need, to the little things, right? To build up our faith, to see if this thing really works, to prove to ourselves that our mind create our reality. Maybe, ask for something that you could really care less if you got it or not. That has to be with everything that you desire, though, right? You have to get in that state where I could really care less if it came or not. But I know that I am an abundant being, that this life is meant to be full of joy and pleasure and ease and love. And it really comes to, you have to decide to do that. Decide to do it. Decide to do it. Because you can have anything you ask for, right? You can have anything you ask for. Anything you ask for, you can have. And it's as simple as deciding that you already have it. But too many of us have this mentality of working for it. We think we have to work for our blessing. So we're like, well, what technique can I do? There is no technique. But if you think you need a technique, then here's one for you, right? And so someone will sell you a technique. But you don't need a technique. You don't have to prove worthiness. You don't have to prove deservedness. You don't have to do anything. You can just decide this is what I am, and that's it. But because our society tells us we must work for what we desire, that's in our mind. So we try to think of ways to prove worthiness. We try to think of ways to work at it or to make it so. But that's the deception. That's the error. Your condition was not to make a thing happen. Your condition was to choose what you want to happen. That's it. You're just supposed to choose what it is that you want. You weren't supposed to make it come to you. You're just supposed to say that I want that, and then see yourself with it. And that's it. All right, Gigi, I'm bringing you up. Again, happy Father's Day to everyone. Hope you're enjoying this wonderful Sunday.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Doing awesome. How about yourself?
Doing good. Doing good.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yes. So before we get into the power of the subconscious mind, did you have anything you want to say to the people about manifesting, those who are so over consumed with the how and the when?
Yeah. Forget how. Actually, it rhymes. It's with the letter F, and it rhymes with buck. Buck how? Because well, we're all adults here. Fuck how? Because really, we don't know how, and frankly, don't care about how. Who gives a shit about how? When? There's only one when. Now. When is now? The present. So when you keep your mind and your in your desire, like you already have it, because you already have it, and you give thanks for it that you have it, it works out on your behalf. There's always movement. Don't care about that either. Don't care about, oh, where's the move? There's always movement. It's like you have to have what they call blind faith. You have to have that, faith regardless of whatever's going on. And just know that everything is working out on your behalf. Another one, it's funny, you were talking about how you were saying how they want to sell you something. And it's funny that when you scroll on TikTok especially, you see like, oh, I got my manifestation in 2 days, or I got my manifestation in 2 hours. I'm not saying that can't happen. It can. But, even like, it's not so much that the Bible says it, and also these other writers like Dr. Joseph Murphy, Claude Bristol, Flora Scovel-Shin, Neville even said that there is a time in the season, meaning there's its due time. So you don't worry about that. I mean, when we're like affirming the things that we don't want, we're not worried about where is it. We're not worried about the how. We're not worried about the when. We're not looking for it. We're not worried about movement. We're not saying, oh, gee, I have to script. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot to become an idiot. I have to affirm 100 times. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot to become an idiot. When things that we don't want, we don't do that. The reason why the things that we don't desire, we get them a lot faster, is because we have 100% faith on the things that we don't want. And when we say it with a conviction, even if there's no evidence of it. A friend or somebody can say, hey, that's not true. And we'll say, yes, it is. And there's no evidence of it, but we have 100% faith in it. So all you have to do is just flip it. I'm smart. Yeah, I'm smart. I'm intelligent. I'm smart. Oh, and what that test says? No, that test says I got an A. That's an A+. That's an A+ I got on that test, and I'm going to take it again, and it's going to be an A+ because I'm smart. And you keep telling yourself that with a conviction and a belief, not worrying about what it looks like, not worrying about the how, not worrying about the when, or any of that. And what T was saying earlier is that they are dangling a carrot in front of you, because somebody can say, oh, I got my manifestation. Oh, I was affirming for my SP. And if you listen, I was affirming for my SP for like X amount of years, and then yesterday I got it. Yeah, but you were affirming for your SP for X amount of years. Okay? And I've been paying attention to that when I'm like, okay, wait a minute, I'm just going to replay. What did you just say? Instead of, the carrot dang, I got my manifestation in 2 days. How long have you been affirming for that SP?
Mm-hmm.
You've been affirming for that SP for a while. And then finally, when you accepted that you and your SP are together, then it happened 2 days later.
Mm-hmm.
There's others that say, it's supposed to happen in 3 days. Well, I've seen where they've posted that they've gotten manifestation. They didn't get their house in 3 days. They didn't get their car in 3 days.
That part, the process for a house, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
It
because it
can happen in
depends
3 days.
on
It can't,
the
but you know. Go ahead. I'm sorry, T.
no, you no, yeah, you go. You good.
So, so I mean, it's like I don't know, but if you give me, $5,000, I'm gonna really show you how to manifest. And then when you give them the $5,000, it doesn't happen in 3 days, and then it's your fault.
Mhm.
So it's like, oh, then you can't get your money back. So,
Right, right. So the listener said, how is it none of my business?
well, because you have your business, and then you have the God in you, the universe in you's business. So uh I use God. God does things, knows things that we don't know. When I've asked for things and I've manifested things and it's been brought to me, I would have never in my wildest dreams would have thought it's gonna happen that way. I'll give you an example. We built decks out here, and my husband had at the time, and he's not even the city inspector anymore. It's another manifestation. Thank you. He's not the city inspector anymore, but he was at the time. And he wanted my husband to take down all these decks because he says that they were a bother or something. I'm like, well, this is our property. We don't, what we do on our property, you can't tell us what to do. You don't pay taxes or anything on our property. And I tell my husband, talk to him that way, but my husband wouldn't. So my husband calls me and he's really upset. He's like, oh, I got to take all my decks down. I said, no, you don't. No deck is coming down. Those decks are remaining. And I just prayed and I said, God, you see things that I don't see. You know things that I don't know. There's somebody above this guy. I know you're above all, but I know there's somebody above this guy. Thank you for bringing my husband to somebody that's above this guy where we're keeping our decks, because no deck is going down. No deck is going down. Thank you. And I wasn't knowing. I mean, I just knew that we had somebody above this city inspector. And literally the next day, I'm at work. My husband calls me. I had to take a quick break, and then I call him back and I go, "Hey, what's going on?" He goes, "Oh my God, honey, I just went to McDonald's to grab a coffee, and I ran into the state inspector. And the state inspector inspected our decks and everything, and he said that we didn't have to take our decks down." So I got my manifestation the next day, but I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't like, well, where is this inspector coming from? And I wasn't looking for any of that. I just knew that we had found somebody that was above this guy that was going to tell my husband, no, you can do whatever you want with your property. And I'll talk to this guy and tell him to mind his own, freaking business, that you can do whatever you want with your property. So, I mean, I wasn't expecting to get it the next day, but I wasn't looking for it either. And I think what happens is that, since we keep hearing, so much about, oh, if you for the things that we desire, it's like you were saying, we have to work for it when we don't, because for the things that we don't desire, we don't work for it. So when I say it's none of our business how our higher self does things, it just takes the burden off of us. I usually say, you know what, God, I don't care how you do it. Just thank you for doing it. I don't want your job. There are ways that you do things that I would never even think of doing it that way. So I trust you. It's just like it's like when you order something from Amazon. Okay, when you order something from Amazon and you put the order in and they send you the little confirmation, they say thank you. You don't tell Amazon and say, oh, I want you to do it this way. I want you to do it. No, you trust Amazon to bring you your package. You don't worry about it. You're not looking for it. You're not going on the computer. Where's my Amazon package? You're not going to your mailbox. Where's my Amazon package? Look how Amazon say, hey, I ordered a package. Where is it? You trust Amazon to bring it to you. So do the same thing with the God in you, with the higher power in you. Think of it as an Amazon order. So yeah, we don't know how Amazon I don't have no idea how Amazon does it. Don't care. As long as I put my order in and I know I'm getting it, that's all I care about. Same thing with TikTok. When I put my TikTok order in, I'm not like calling TikTok and saying, "Where's my order?" or "I don't see any evidence of it," or they haven't posted a video on TikTok saying, "Gigi, we're sending you your order." I'm not worried about it. I put my order in, I'm expecting it, and I just go along with my day. And it's the same thing with the higher power. So you just trust it. Who cares how it comes to you? Who cares? It's none of your business. You go to McDonald's, you order a Big Mac. You don't go back there and tell them how to make the Big Mac for you.
Absolutely.
You trust them. Yeah.
Right.
Higher power.
That's
Hey,
it. Yep. Hey, A-Town. Hey, Aaron. Welcome. How are you, A-Town? What's happening?
Hey, Aaron Bay. Aaron's baby. Aaron. Happy Father's Day.
You're on mute, A-Town.
Hey, beautiful ladies. How are you? How's everybody?
Hey.
Happy Prosperous Living book club. Such an awesome time. Gigi, you spitting fire. I just want to let you know,
Thank you.
just hearing you over music, just in that little snippet, like that's a nice clip, just kind of giving people the, just the whole parallel to what faith is, to what living is. We're always manifesting and people don't realize that. And, how our thoughts are just like an Amazon delivery. I love that, Gigi. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Well, T has been my kind of my coach. T always reminds us of who we are. That's what I love about this platform. And again, T, I always thank you that you do this, because it's like, hey, it's all you. And it's good to realize that we don't. I mean, the beauty about it is we don't have to pay for any of this.
Mhm.
We don't have to depend on anybody. Like T said earlier, every man has been given the good measure of faith. So it's not like one person has more faith than the other. We all have the same measure of faith. It's just how you use it. Are you using 30% of it, 60% of it, 100% of it? And that's what you're gonna, get back. And if you're using 30%, you can move up to 60. If you're using 60, you can move it to 100 or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's all you. And just go with the flow. Trust it.
Yeah.
That's the part that's kind of that's tough. It's the trust. And when my mind starts
I think
saying,
I
"Where
don't even
is it?"
think
I'm
it's
like,
all the trust. A lot of the times, I think it's like you said, the responsibility of knowing we are already trusting something.
Yep.
So we're not. It's not. I don't even think it's the trust, because I tell people, especially my clients, well, I don't know. I said, well, well, I want to, see where my faith is at. I was like, you already got. I'm seeing your faith. Faith is either in faith in what you can't do, or faith in what you, I guess, what you want, but you can't ideal. You can't picture it, or faith in you already know what's happening is yours. You just gotta, either get the right consulting, the right coaching, as T said. But this forum is exactly like that, for us to be able to remember, those concepts, because again, if we know that in church or in our religious practice, like, this concept was still going on, and if we're able to remember what was going on, I think people are able to kind of like see how things laid out. Because just telling people, you just do this or just do that, people have to go through like mental layers, right? Just to kind of even take that accountability. Okay, it was me. Because I think that was the hard part for me. And T has been coaching me not coaching me per se, but I've been, definitely exposing myself to T and everybody, really, right? The whole situation, and it has been like layers had to drop off, right? I had to come and expose like the intricacies of how my mind is moving, to kind of like either take stuff out, put stuff in, that programming. And so I think that is a big piece, because we're always trusting, and we're all, we have been. And I think being able to just know that you're the originator, right? And knowing that, we can it's already there, whatever you want. And I think just being able to really bring people back to that conception of, okay, this was me. And I think that's a big picture, a big key, with the transformation, I believe, especially with me. I don't know about others, but yeah.
Fresh Air 21. Yeah, that's an order that you put in, though. That you tell them how you want your Big Mac, but you're not back there telling them exactly how to make the Big Mac, is what I'm saying. When you put the
Right.
order in, and then you're trusting that they're going to do it the way you want it to do it. You don't want it with cheese. You don't want it with, okay, but that you trust that they're going to make it the way you asked. That's what I meant by, like, you're not actually dictating, oh no, I know, put the cheese over here, or no, put the, you know what I mean? But yeah,
Right. How many times to flip the burger and how to
exactly.
toast the bread and yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, how much lettuce. Man, only two tablespoons of sauce and only, I need 3 pieces of cheese or I mean you can ask 3 pieces of cheese, they probably gonna charge you extra for it. But
Yeah.
like make sure the
But you're
cheese is
not back
put this
there
way, not
actually,
that way. I want the cheese on the bread and not on the meat,
not back there, exactly. Exactly. So
Right, right,
put your order in. That's what I mean. And I'm glad you put
right.
that comment. You put an
Yeah.
order in, and then you just know that they're going to make it how you ask. Now, if you don't like how they make it, you have a right to say, you know what, that's not what I asked for. I want it this way. And you can do that with the universe too. I mean, sometimes I'll be like, that's not what I asked you for. I
Right.
asked for this. So bring me this. I didn't ask you for that. Come on, you know better. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
you're omniscient. You're omnipresent. I mean, come on. You said in your word that if we, being of the world, know how to give good gifts, how much more do you? Okay, so I asked you for this, so bring me this. Thank you. You got this.
Right, right.
You can
So
talk
that's
to us and getting something that you're not getting. It's like, I didn't ask you for that.
right, right. Aaron.
Aaron
Aaron's up in the
Bay.
chat.
Hello, hello.
Hello, how are
Just
you?
soaking up all the vibes. Getting my boost.
Nice, nice.
How you doing, Aaron?
Oh man, I am blessed. I'm so
Yes,
blessed.
I love that. Love it.
I'm getting more than what I asked for.
Ooh, pressed
Love it.
down,
Yep.
shaking together, running over.
Come over.
Yep. It's amazing. Um I'm just enjoying life, to be honest. I put my order in and while it's being delivered, I'm just like, all right, well let me go ahead and do what I just love to do, you know?
Yeah. So, do you have any words of wisdom? Because I know that that's something that people in the chat have been saying this morning. Struggling with the letting go, the how, the when. You have any gems to drop in the chat for us regarding that?
I think I still to this day always ask like when and how, but I don't let that drive me. I put it to the side. It's because I'm just being real in my experience.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It's not like it just goes away. Like it'll be like, oh, I wonder how that's gonna happen. But then when I catch myself doing that, I'm like, I don't have to do that. And in fact, let me put that down. So if the when and how is really wrapped up in your mind and it's a consistent playback, I would just chill out. I would just relax. Go
Hmm.
do something that you love. And it's so funny, like now I'm saying this out loud, but like I used to hate when people would say that. When I was like, what do you mean? When? Like I would be so tight.
I hear
And I think the goal is like if we are manifesting or you're bringing something into your reality, you can't be tight about it. Why? You don't even want to be tight about it.
you.
You want
Hmm.
to be open and just loving and ready. so that when it does come, you're not tight. It's like, like, yeah, this makes sense because I knew I knew it was going to be here, and I'm good. I was already good, you know?
Yeah. And I think what people are asking, like best practice, right? Yes, all of us question, right? We would be lying if we didn't say that we all questioned at one point in
Mm-hmm.
time, especially if it's something that's a very strong desire and it's something that's really going to transform your reality, right? Some of us have desires that our life is definitely going to not look the same, right? It's going to be unrecognizable, right? And so it's like, well, I want this thing that is going to transform my experience on this third dimensional plane so greatly. How do I let go of the fear or the questioning or the doubting? Like, what's best practice?
I think when you being aware of when you're doing it,
Mm-hmm.
if you can see yourself doing it, then that's the first step to shifting it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can't see, if you like, we all like, you might be so automatically doubting something or automatically questioning something. So start being like, oh, there I go again, just questioning, and take a deep breath. And it's don't try to do something else. Don't try to let me say this 10 times. Let me close my eyes and whatever. But just I think truly recognizing when you're in that space and just bringing yourself back down, even if you're just bringing yourself back down for 10 seconds, then you go back to doubting again, do it again. Bring yourself back, but always stay conscious of what you're doing because then you can drive your own boat.
Mm-hmm. Power of your awareness, right? Power of awareness, as Neville Goddard would say. Yes, that's beautiful. And talking to yourself. So that's best practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're aware, don't keep the same mind. Change the mind, right? When you become aware that you're starting to doubt, that you're giving over to fear, when you're aware of that, the key is to what? Change the thought. Choose this day who you're going to serve. Are you going to keep serving the doubt, the fear, and the limitations? Or are you going to give your mind over to faith? Because that's really the choice in that moment.
Right. And if you do start to doubt or anything like that, you didn't mess anything up.
Mm-mm.
So it's okay. It's okay.
Right.
It's, it's
Grace.
okay.
My grace is
Cry.
sufficient for thee, right? Grace. Give yourself
Yes.
grace. Give yourself patience. Give yourself love. Be easy with yourself, as Abraham Hicks would say. Be easy with yourself. It's okay. You get a do-over. You really do get to do it over.
It's like the song says, "Take it easy."
You
Oh.
know, I feel I don't know about you guys, but like something that I have done in the last month, couple of months or so, and over time, is that sometimes my doubts and my questioning, my negative thoughts will get so big that like my body, like my nervous system is tingling, my
Mm-hmm.
knees, everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And all I can do, quite literally, is just lay down and feel it. And sometimes those doubts can take over your body and you get scared because it's like, holy crap, like this is like, it feels like it's taking over. But the gag is, is that in my experience, the more that I've allowed those feelings to just pass through me and I don't run away from them and I just let it sit, they do fade and they don't last. So because sometimes I couldn't stop the mind from going downtown.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I just need to be here with it. And then yeah, like after it fades and you go, oh wow, actually I'm okay. It might take a minute, but like it works for me. Like I sometimes let it just take over my whole body, and then it will eventually fade. And then I'm like, what do I want to watch on TV, or let me go on a walk. Like, but I don't do it from a place of I'm running away from my feelings.
Hmm.
And b- because if you run away from it, it's still going to chase you. So I've just got to the point where I'm like, all right, let me just be here with it and reminded like I'm bigger than what I'm doubting and what I'm feeling and what my mind is telling me. I'm way bigger than that. And it does fade. Like it's happened time and time again now. I used to be so scared of my feelings, but they do fade, and they do with time, and it just washes away. But I've had to feel them to in order to triumphant them, not let them take over me. So that's my other piece.
Yep,
Yeah.
surrender. I love that. Surrendering to the moment, right? So
Yep.
many times we're trying to run away from the moment and instead of just surrendering to it, right? Like Neville Goddard would tell you, life is a surrender. It's not a struggle, but we struggle with our feelings, right? Because someone told us we're not supposed to feel these feelings. Who told
Right.
you that? Who told you that? You're here for the human experience, right? That's part of the human experience. Allow yourself to be in that space. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, when I affirm something new, because words words are energy, words are spirit. So when you're telling yourself something new or a new desire, whatever it may be, for the first time, it's like at first your body and your consciousness doesn't accept it. So it kind of has like a
Mhm.
little rejection kind of feeling. I call it the jolt. But
Mm-hmm.
when I feel the jolt, I let the jolt be there, but I'll still continue saying it. Saying what the new words. I'll just continue saying it, and eventually, the jolt goes away. Um, and it's the let it be there. That's fine. I mean, again, the Bible, Jesus wept. He was crying because everybody was tripping over the fact that he wasn't there when Lazarus died, and everybody was crying around him. Everybody's, oh Jesus, why weren't you here? Had you been here, you would have been alive. Blah 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 blah. And he just kept affirming, Lazarus is asleep, and I'm waking him up. Lazarus is asleep, and I'm waking him up, and he's crying. Lazarus is asleep, and I'm waking him up. And he let those feelings be there, but he kept with his same affirmation. And then I
Wow.
look at before he goes to the tomb, he says, Father, thank you. I know you heard me. And then he says, Lazarus, come forth. And, but he didn't, even though he was feeling these feelings, okay, uh, he still stayed with the same, and read it, it's in the Bible, with the same affirmation. He didn't stop, no matter what. And there were people coming at him, like, where we, Lazarus's sisters, Lazarus's family, the whole town, where everybody was like, hey man, had you been here, he would be alive. But you came now, and he's dead. Da, 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 da. And he stayed. Lazarus is asleep, and I'm waking him up. Lazarus is asleep, and I'm waking him up. So what that showed me is that it's okay to feel what you're feeling, whether you're feeling doubt, whether you're feeling whatever it is that you're feeling. And if you succumb to it, oh man, I've been affirming, and nothing's happening. That's okay. Let that be there too. And then bring yourself back. Wait a minute. Okay. All right. Everything works out for my good. I've been affirming, and everything works out for my good. This is happening. Thank you. This is happening. This is happening. And you just kind of bring yourself back. So it's okay if you fall fall down, but pick yourself back up. Don't stay there. Like my dad used to say to me when I was riding my bike the first time. I was so more focused on falling than I was on actual riding the bike. So he let me fall. So when I fell, I cried. And then when I found out that he let me fall, I'm like, why'd you do that? My father said, because you were too focused on falling instead of riding your bike. Now you know what it's like to fall. Now ride the bike.
Ooh.
And then he said,
Mm.
are you going to stay? You can cry. It's okay. What are you going to do? Are you going to stay down there and cry? Are you going to give up on yourself? Or are you going to get back on this bike and ride it? So I cried for a bit, and then I got mad. And I said, no, I'm going to get back on this bike and ride it. So I got back on the bike, and he let go, and I was able to ride it. And then he said to me, "I want to teach you a lesson. That's life. There's going to be times when you're going to fall, and you can be there for a minute. But what are you going to do? You're going to stay down there, or you're going to get back up?" And I said, "No, Dad, I'm always going to get back up. So it's okay if you fall, but get back up. And when you get back up, you're gonna feel stronger. You're gonna feel even better. So let those feelings be there. Let the doubt, let the sadness, let the anger, let it be there. That's fine. And if you succumb to it for a minute, or fine, succumb to it. But then bring yourself back, even if you're crying. You know, yeah, I got this. Yes, it's happening. Yeah, I'm in yes, I'm in this, and you just yeah, I'm happy, I'm happy, and then yeah, I'm happy, and it'll come back because I've done it. I've cried. I've been sad, and I'll tell myself, you know what, it's all good. It's all good. It's all, yeah. And I start laughing. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. With tears, okay, it's all. These are tears of joy. Okay, it's all good. It's all good. Okay, you got this. You got this, guy. You got this. This is fine. You got all right. And then it goes away. So let it be, like the song says. Let it be.
Yes, beautiful. Okay, so let's get into, well, we've been on here almost an hour. Let's get into the the book club. Chapter 15 is your subconscious mind and your happiness. Your happiness. These next 3 chapters are really dope chapters. They're really good.
Yes.
So in the beginning, he says, in every human being is that limitless reservoir of power, which can overcome any problem in the world. True and lasting happiness will come into your life the day you get the clear realization that you can overcome any weakness. The day you realize that your subconscious can solve your problems, heal your body, and prosper you beyond your fondest dream. This is a new and wonderful day for me. There will never be another day like this one. I am divinely guided all day long, and whatever I do will prosper. Divine love surrounds me, enfolds me, and enwraps me, and I go forth in peace. Whenever my attention wanders away from that which is good and constructive, I will immediately bring it back to the contemplation of that which is lovely and of good report. I am a spiritual and mental magnet, attracting to myself all things which bless and prosper me. I am going to be a wonderful success in all my undertakings today. I am definitely going to be happy all day long. This is something you can say every day as you awake, right? You can put it on your notes, whether you have a iPhone or Samsung, whatever it is, Android. Write it down on a index card, whatever. You can decide to say this to yourself every morning as you rise. That's a good 2 or 3 minute talk with yourself, and you could say it at least 3 to 5 times, and then you could say it in the middle of the day. And then you could say it in the evening, and you're going to give thanks for the day. And so as you're saying it, you could be giving just thanks that the things that you have prophesied over yourself has actually come to pass.
Where is that? What you just with that prayer? I'm trying to look for it. Or did you make it?
No, I didn't make it up. Copy
I
the
was like,
paste, copy and
you
paste.
made it up. Send it to me. Messenger that bitch.
Just to read that actually.
I copied and pasted it from the, but I didn't save it on the book. I just copied it from the book, so I can't even tell you where I pulled it from.
I know it's I remember this because it's I don't remember what page, Gigi.
Oh,
But
okay. It's the second page. It's under how to choose happiness. Do you
Oh,
see that
there it is.
highlighted?
At the
How to
bottom.
choose happiness, and it's that second paragraph.
There it is. Thank you. Oh, there it is, right there. Okay. Thank you.
But it's
I think
powerful though.
yes,
That's a
it is
powerful
powerful.
thing.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. And I mean, and I love this chapter is about choosing. You choose happiness. It's a decision to choose, to choose happiness. Do things that make, like Aaron was saying earlier, do things that make you happy, um, things that make you laugh, things that bring you joy. It's a choice, and to think about things that are lovely, things that are good. And he says this a lot in this book. He repeats that over and over, sometimes like differently, but he repeats that we are to keep our mind on things that are lovely, things that are good, things that are joyous. So it's a choice. You choose. And like I was saying earlier, it doesn't, if you happen to get upset, get angry, whatever, let it be there. We're God's having a human experience. So have the human experience. And then, but bring yourself back. Don't live there. Bring yourself back. Choose happiness. It's a choice. I love this chapter, and I love that prayer. Oh wow, it got me twisted.
Yeah.
And in a good way.
And so another one, he says, there is no block to your happiness save in your own thought life and mental imagery. Is fear or worry holding you back? Fear is a thought in your mind. You can dig it up this very moment by supplanting it with faith in success, achievement, and victory over all problems. And you have to remember that the power is in your word. These words that I speak, they are spirit and they are life. Your life is in the tongue, right? Death and life are in the power of the tongue. It is by your words are you justified, right? So justify your words. Speak life over you. Tell yourself over and over again, I got this. I can do this. This is possible for me. I'm experiencing it now. I call it forth now. I speak with joy. I speak with intention. I speak with love, peace, harmony, goodwill towards all. The thoughts that I think is what is creating in my life. It's only my thoughts that matter, no one else's.
Right.
Yes. Hey, Dia. Welcome back. Welcome back. I came on live yesterday. Oh my goodness, I was on live for like 4 hours yesterday. It was beautiful.
It was
Had
real
an
good
awesome
yesterday, too.
time.
Yeah, it was real good. I was surprised he was even on that long too, because I had did something else. I had
It came into my mind, I if I decide I'm gonna do something, but then,
yeah,
if it says, okay, do it, don't do it, I go with what's, I go by the leading, by the urge, as they say.
right. The intuition. No, that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I was at oh yeah, I actually had to tell y'all about a couple of things. I'll probably do it after, when we commence the book club. But a lot of different things went on, that y'all are familiar with. That was some experiences that I was dealing with. But I think what you said, T, was really important. Just being able to understand that, one, the choice, right? And I like what you said yesterday too. You really emphasized it, where how our perception is everything, right? I think a young lady came on and you had to kind of like push back a little bit because her perspective was, a good and bad type of perspective. And I love the fact that you do feel the intuition to not necessarily to regulate, right? But you are able to catch people in their natural programming. So even people from even the viewers or us as an audience are able to even catch it, even though it's her, right? But we're able to also catch it in our own self, right? As you're speaking. And I just love the fact that, you're led, the intuition of everything, the intuitiveness, because I think another person said yesterday, there's not too many calls, not too many people being able to express, your tonality as far as on TikTok world, as far as your representation, authenticity, all that good stuff. And it's just crazy, just being able to see how much ratrocity it is out there, but being able to now see like this is a place of solace, a place of real amped up, in terms of like the energy and the accountability, right? Because a lot of times if we arguing and we fussing and we doing all this, it's really us. It's a reflection of us. And I love that, you're able to really impress upon ourselves and impress upon our conversations that it's really up to us. And thank you for that.
Yep, yep. You're welcome. Yeah, I mean, we're just all doing this together. As I like to quote Abraham Hicks sometimes, we're all in this together, right? It says we're just wanting to experience this life in the best way we can, and it all starts in the mind, right? That's why Dr. Joseph Murphy wrote this book, to remind us it's already within us. All we have to do is tap into it, right? That's all we have to do. Just tap into it. It really is a choice. And, you know, there's nothing to fear but the illusion of it, right? And the best way to counteract fear is to face it, right? Just go ahead and experience whatever you're experiencing. Allow yourself to, what if it doesn't happen? Allow yourself to experience those feelings of it not happening, and then say, whoo, all right, I experienced that not happening. Now let me experience it. It does happen, all right? What does those feelings feel like? If you're thinking that's what's holding you back, if you think your feeling of doubt and fear and negativity is what's holding you back, then allow yourself to experience it, and then move on with life, and then choose something different.
Choose something different. Well, here
Because there's nothing holding you back, right? Nothing is stopping you, right? The fear is just as you just stated, as I just read from the book, it's just a thought in your mind. That's it. So faith is also a thought in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So it's what you think. What you think about, you bring about. Because faith and fear are what? Two sides of the same coin. It's a paradox, right? Because fear is things not happening. Faith is things it is happening. And then you having faith that it's not going to happen, right? So faith and fear can be the same thing, right? You can have a fear of it happening and really not be at peace with it. You can be a fear of it not happening and not be at peace with it, right? You can have faith of it happening and be at peace with it. You can be in faith of it not happening and still be at peace with it, right? So they're two sides of the same coin.
Yeah. That's interesting.
It is, right? Because like A-Town said earlier, you're trusting in something. You're always trusting in something. We just use faith for trust in the thing that we want, and we use fear for trusting the thing that we don't want to happen, right? But either way, you're trusting in an outcome.
But you can have fear of it happening and have faith in not happening.
Yep.
Whoa, mic drop. Girl, that was a mic drop right there, girl.
Because some people are in fear of experiencing their desire, right? Because a lot of times that fear build up from what you think others will say. How will the world receive you? How will the world treat you, right? And so you have fear, well, what if my friends, or what if I can't really have friends, or what if my family is jealous of me, or what if people see me this way? What if people think I want too much, or that I have too much, or who I think I am, or, that's...
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so you got to get out of your head, right? Because you have to remember your family is a mirror of you. They're you. So, once you become okay with it, they will, or they won't be a part of your world.
Right.
So you say zero fucks given now. I know, right, A-Town? So you got over that little hump. You climbed that mountain, huh? You moved that mountain, rather. You moved that mountain.
And it was really a representation of really being able to expose myself to this community, to be really honest with you, because for so long, it was always the pretense of, well, I was always the chameleon, always wanting to be, I was always the person to adapt to relative situations, right? So I wanted to be the person for my dad. I wanted to be the person for my mom. I wanted to be, but it was all relative to their conditioning, to their programming, and their level of faith, right? Their level of just conditioning and whatever the case is. So it's like, when I had to just kind of step out, I was like, no, I can't take this. Like, I'm a good son, but I ain't, my level of faith and my level of perception, my self-concept, everything is like stupid high. And I have the awareness to bring that about. And so not necessarily separation, but again, just understanding where I'm at, just understanding who we are, and just understanding too, it's okay. You know, you don't have to rely on their story, right? They're entitled to what they think, but I can. Oh, my thinking overrides anything outside of me, and I think that's what really gives me the gratitude, the also the patience and the grace to be okay with everybody else, right? Because and not saying that they are a reflection of me, of course, but just being okay with everybody's level, how they're what they're exposing me to as far as their level of thinking. um I'm okay with it, and I'm completely fine, and Godspeed. But I see different, right? I see totally different, and I believe totally different. My who I am is, totally different. So I don't know. Do y'all feel like you have a sense of a higher respect for yourself, a different level of I know how you represent yourself, like what you bring to, how you carry yourself. Do you feel like that also permeated through your self awareness and who you are and what you do, or did you kind of, did that kind of like amp your confidence, or that those things? Did that kind of experience happen to y'all as well?
Yeah. Um, it's when once you realize who you are, and I mean, at first, when I got woken up by T here, that it's all you. At first,
No, 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 not me. When you came into enlightenment, I was just the mirror. I didn't
you
do
were just the
anything.
alarm. You rang the alarm. You were the alarm clock. Um,
Right, T. Let us give you your flowers, T.
Come on, T. I gotta give you some props. So, when you realize that it's you, it's all you. At first, it freaks you out. Like, oh shit, really? It's me this whole freaking time. What the, you know?
Right.
And then you go through oh man, it's me this whole freaking. You go through that phase, and I did. I went through it, and I'm like, okay, all right, so it's me. All right, okay. So then you start evaluating parts of your life, and you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna change that, and then you get like a confidence, like, okay, it's me, no problem. So if something doesn't go your way, and you want to kind of blame somebody else, and you're like, well, wait a minute. You kind of have that, like you take the record off the needle off the record, and you're like, wait a minute, it's me. Okay, I want this person to be nicer to me. Okay, yeah, okay, this person's nice to me. This person's nice to me. This person's helping me. This person's nice to me. I've done it at supermarkets. I've gotten like, I mean, I always get very nice people that help me, and every once in a while, I might get one it's not so nice. Maybe she was mean to the customer previous to me, but before I go over there, I'll be saying in my mind, everybody here is nice to me, and she's nice to me. She's nice to me. She's being nice to me. She's helping me. She's being nice to me. And all of a sudden, like, they'll be nice to me. They'll give me my refund. They'll give me a credit. Sometimes they'll say something. Sometimes they'll be like, all right, here's your credit. I was like, all right, thank you. I was like, see, they were nice to me. They just gave me my credit. And it's like you choose. It's like like this chapter was talking about. You make choices. You choose. I mean, if I were to say, oh, okay, everybody here is mean, everybody's not, they're nasty, they're this, they're that, and I'm habitually thinking that in my mind, then that's what I'm going to experience. And he said it here beautifully. The thoughts you habitually entertain in your mind have the tendency to actualize themselves in physical conditions. So if you're thinking you're not going to succeed, everybody's against you, your business is bad, your husband is this, and your wife is that, whatever, and you're consistently entertaining them, meaning you're repeating them in your mind, that's what you're going to experience. But if you say, my success, my business is good, everybody is on my side, everybody's nice to me, my children are wonderful kids, my husband is a sweetheart, my wife is a sweetheart, and you just keep habitually telling yourself that, then that's what you're going to experience, no matter what you see out here. Because out here it's just a replay. It's just the experience of your old thoughts, and it's moldable. So I've done it with my husband. My husband, at first he'd be kind of and I'm thinking to myself, oh wow, he's sweet, he's nice, he's sweet, he's nice, and then all of a sudden he'll do like a 360 right then and there. And because I've been calling him sweet, nice, we have fun together, all these kinds of things, I'm starting to see that in my experience, in my physical condition, because I'm habitually thinking, what a sweet guy he is, what a nice guy he is. So uh,
Yep.
that's all it is. What you're like T says, what you think about. I say what you think about and speak about, you bring about. That's from The Secret.
Yeah. Yeah. Aaron, you
Well,
want to add to that?
well, I
Yeah,
was
Aaron.
just gonna say I love that. And it drives your actions, what
Mm-hmm.
you start to think about. Because when I think like, oh, I'm not gonna be successful on TikTok, it's not gonna work for me on TikTok, then I'm not gonna post nothing.
Yeah.
Mm.
There won't
Uh-huh.
be any posting happening because
Right.
I'm stuck in that. But the minute
Mm-hmm.
I start shifting to I'm amazing at TikTok, it's so great, then naturally like I'm like, I'm gonna post. I'm not scared. I'm not even thinking about what I see on the numbers and all that stuff. I just know that I'm successful. I'm just using this as an example, but like post I'm a successful TikToker. And like that's what when you shared your example, Gigi, with your husband, I was like, yep, because you started being the Gigi that that pulled out the sweetness of him to experience that. Because if you were before were like he ain't sweet and all that stuff, well, the energy was probably not gonna bring sweet,
Yeah.
Right. Right.
and until you started he's sweet, then it's like you shifted you were the change to bring the change. um and so I love that a lot because I think sometimes like it is like miracles and magic, but the magic is you. It's
Yeah.
always like you, and like that's how I think how powerful we are, is that like if we start behaving and being I know we talk about like the version of us with whatever we want, that's how it comes because there's no other way. It has to, because
Uh-huh.
that's who you're now being. So, but to answer your question, A Town, I definitely got way more confident. I mean, I started this journey like years ago, 2, 3 years ago, and I'm abroad, doing all types of crazy stuff that I always wanted to do, but never thought I could because I had limited beliefs. But it just the more and more, I think one time I was on this live and I was like, they should put a warning sign on this kind of stuff because your whole life can change for the better. But I mean, seriously, my whole life has changed. But I look back and I go, I remember when I first started and I was seeking so much information because I just was unhappy and not like where I wanted to be. And I be now, I look back then, I'm like, hell no, I ain't going back to that. Like I am I'm things may not look always clear right now, but like it's way better. Way, way better because I'm being who I want to be, not the old conditioning and all that stuff. So yes, I have gotten way more confident.
That's beautiful. I love it.
Amazing. Yes, amazing, amazing. Yeah, this journey, yes, it's not linear, right? You're gonna have it is like a roller coaster ride, right? You're gonna have your ups, you're gonna have your dips, you're gonna have your twists, you're gonna have your turns, right? Because life is not a linear, there's no it must happen this way, happen that way. Oh, thank you. Hey, 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 neighbor, welcome, welcome, welcome. Right. And so it's just about learning to enjoy the ride, right? Like we came here for them, like my husband said, this is like an amusement park, right? The amusement park, you come to be scared sometimes, right? That's why you get on like go to Great America and you get on the Eagle. And then when they start the Eagle, I don't know how many of you are familiar with a Great America. And then the
Yeah.
eagle used to always go forward, and then they changed it where you go backwards, right? And so you would experience the
Oh,
eagle
nice.
backwards, and that was a whole nother different experience, right? And then every year, almost every year, they bring us some new roller coaster, right? Kind of like our desires. Every time we experience one thing, we have a new desire. We want to experience something else, right? And then sometimes there's a little trepidation that comes with that experience because we don't know how, we don't know when. We're trying to imagine what it would be like, but we can't fully see all that entails its development, right? So we do kind of like squinch, or we do kind of like, I don't know, can it happen? Will it happen? So you have this wrestling back and forth, like Jacob, at the place of what he called the pineal, where he saw the face of God, where he wrestled with God, right? Which is wrestling with your idea, trying to decide, can this happen? Will this happen? Right? Can I be this person? Well, and so you're going back and forth, and then finally you're like, okay, I'm not gonna let you go until you bless me. And then what? He gets blessed, and then his nature changes, which is his name. He becomes Israel, the father of many nations, right? You become Israel. You become that what you desire, and now you're gonna transform nations around you, right? Because your generations after you will be transformed because of you, right? Now you get to leave that legacy of wealth, health, and experience. And that's just how it, and so yeah, like we all, yeah, in the beginning I didn't realize how much I cared about what other people thought, because before I went on my started on my journey, I was kind of a nonchalant type person, and it wasn't. And I realized that my nonchalantness was more of a defense mechanism. It wasn't so much of an enduring, loving type thing. It was more of defense and lacking vulnerability. And then when I started on this journey, and then I started really saying I wanted to be transformed, I wanted to be different, then that insecurity came up, and then that that validation mentality came up, and then that's why I had to that's why you always heard me talk about validation, right? Because I realized I had to let it go. So I had to get out of that mindset of thinking that I need other people to see me in order for me to feel good or feel comfortable or to feel worthy.
Right.
So we all went through it. Everybody goes through it. Everybody has to slay their dragon, right? How to slay your dragon, how to train your dragon, right?
But stick to what you're desiring, even when you don't see it.
Yep. Even when you don't see it.
That's how you become, by simply your words. That's how you become that person. When they say, oh, you have to become that version of the person that has it. Like you say that a lot. It's like, you have to become that person that has it, but they don't tell you. All you have to do is just say that you are that person that has it. Just tell yourself you're the person that has it. That's how you do it. And people are trying to figure out, how do I do that? And I've seen it on comments. How do I do it? And I've actually written on this, and I've probably gotten blocked from a couple of them. I don't give a shit, but because everybody's asking, how do you become it? And they don't tell them. It's like, tell them. Just say that you're that person that has it. How, what would
they
be
want it to be difficult, right? Because if I make it too simple for you, you won't need me. Then you don't have to hire me. Then I don't have to coach you. If I make it simple, so I got to tell you, oh, you need this technique, you got to do 369, you need to buy this book, you need to get this. It always has to come with some type of work. When the work is really easy and simple. Say that again, Gigi.
You got to stand on your head. You got to sacrifice a chicken.
Right.
You got to say, whom did a, hey. It's like, who would you be if you're that person? Describe it. Who would you be? Oh, well, yeah, I'm with that person. That person and I are happy. We go to dinner together. We go on trips. So that you just keep saying that and keep saying that. Who are you? Who are you? That person with that raise? Well, I got that raise. I paid off my car because I got that raise. I went to Mexico because I got that raise. Or heck, I just wanted that raise. I don't have to give a reason. I wanted that raise and I got it. Yay!
Yep.
And then that's being the person. That's already automatically being that person. By simply saying that you are. The moment that you say that you are, the subconscious says, okay. The subconscious accepts anything you tell it.
Yeah.
And you just practice, and you keep saying it, and you keep saying it. You work it out, keep saying it. And then the 3D has no choice but to go with your flow. The 3D is at your feet. The 3D is at your service. The 3D is not your enemy. It's at your service. So
say that again. Say that again, because some people they seem like they want to hate the 3D, but say that again.
Yeah. But trust me, I used to be a 3D hater too. I've been there.
Me
I've been
too.
there, done that, moved on. Okay, been there. Because
And that's
that's
what
what I kept hearing.
just pause that thought for a moment. That's what, when I started this live, that was something so foreign to me. Because when I'm studying Neville and I'm studying Dr. Joseph Murphy, they didn't talk about the 3D. Not in the way that the internet streets did, not in the
Thank
way that
you.
YouTubers, the new millennial Gen Z YouTubers did, and just had you focusing. Don't worry about the 3D, the 3D, the 3D, the 3D. And I was just like, oh, huh? Why are you so concerned with
I
it?
was
That
like,
was
what the
mind
fuck is the
boggling to me. I couldn't
3D?
understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Say that
What
again,
the
what you
hell
said?
is the 3D? I couldn't stand it. Was just like this
It means you're
concept that
empty.
I could not figure out. Partially because I didn't understand that this is my creation. But also
Yeah.
because it was just the way they was talking about it made it seem like it was a thing. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
a thing. I'm like, what? I,
Like the
I
3D.
was like speechless.
Yeah.
I was like, this makes no sense to me.
Like the 3D is the devil. The 3D is like the 3D is the devil. Like
Yep.
with the Christianity, you got a devil. That's what the three. Yeah. Until I decided what actually gave me that moment with the 3D was the scripture in Genesis. That we have dominion over the things of this earth. Okay, that one came to mind because I was like, why is this my enemy? I literally questioned it, like, why is the 3D my enemy? I don't get it. I've been in the 3D this whole time. Why is it my enemy? Why would it be my enemy? And then something like that scripture popped up, and then I started kind of meditating on it, and I'm like, okay, so this is at my service. So it's doing what I'm thinking. It's doing what I'm saying. It has no choice but to reflect, the physical
Mm-hmm.
condition of what I'm consistently thinking. I was like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, talk about a slap in the face. I'm like, psh, like, dang. I'm excited about it. I'm like, yeah. And then I got cocky. Yeah. You are at, oh, yeah. And then I was like, oh, haha, yeah. You are at
Yep.
my service. I like this better. Okay, you're not my enemy. You're at my service. 3D.
Yeah, then it gets
Okay,
real
you're
fun.
at my service. So it became fun. So it's like, okay. So when I see something I don't like, instead of saying, oh my God, it's against me. No, you're not. You're doing what I'm saying. What am I thinking? I'll be like, all right, Jesus.
Yep.
It reflects like, okay, what are you thinking? Okay, I gotta change. Okay, I gotta change how I think about that. Oh, and you'll answer yourself. Why is this happening? And you'll answer, oh, because you're thinking this. Oh, because you're saying that. Oh, because you said that. And it will answer you. You'll answer yourself and be like, okay, I'm gonna change that. It's kind of when you're baking a cake, and you forget to add the sugar. How come the cake doesn't taste so sweet? What did I do? And you look at the ingredients. You're like, I forgot to add the sugar. Okay, so next time I make the cake, I'm going to add the sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the
Yeah.
same thing. So if there's something, it's like you're not blocked. Like that's another one they're like using. Oh, you must be blocked, and he talks about this too in this chapter.
Yep.
You're not
Yep.
blocked. You got to say to yourself, wait a minute. I'm affirming this. Why isn't this happening? What's going on? I'll talk to God. Be like, why isn't this happening? What's going on? And I'll answer myself. Well, you're thinking this. Well, you're saying that. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. I'm going to change it. All right. And I'll even think myself, thank you, God. Okay. And then you change it. And then you'll see, once you change it, the physical condition, the 3D, will start to change. Because it's at your feet. It's your server. It's saying, what do you want? I'm here for you. I'll do what you say. It has no choice. It's designed that way. So when you're thinking, oh, the 3D is my enemy. No, it's not. It's not. And don't worry about the 3D. And you're right, T. Nobody in these books talks about the 3D. Nobody. They talk about just focusing on like he says in this book, on what's good, on your desires, on what's lovely, on peace, on keeping your mind on that. Choosing happiness. It's your choice. That's what they focus on. It's not about this whole 3D bullshit.
Yep,
You know?
yep. And so I'm going to do the final 2 points, unless you have some specific, unless you guys have some specific notes you want to share. He said in his highlight number 7, you must sincerely desire to be happy. Nothing is accomplished without desire. Desire is a wish with wings of imagination and faith. Imagine the fulfillment of your desire and feel its reality, and it will come to pass. Happiness comes in answered prayer. And then number 9 says, you cannot buy happiness with all the money in the world. Let me repeat that, because too many of us trying to buy happiness. You cannot buy happiness with all the money in the world. Some millionaires are very happy. Some are very unhappy. Many people with very little worldly goods are very happy, and some are very unhappy. Some married people are happy, and some very unhappy. Some single people are happy, and some are very unhappy. The kingdom of happiness is in your thoughts and feeling. It's not, nothing on the outside will ever bring happiness. That's all he's saying. No conditions, no experiences. It all comes from within. Now, those things you can choose to amplify it in any way, right? A relationship can amplify your unhappiness or your happiness, just like money can, right? It's not the money. We try to put money on this pedestal and make money be something greater than it is. No, it's no different. Like, because you can have the money and then be happy with the money and think, oh, all I'm missing is the relationship. Then you get the relationship and you're just as miserable can be, because you thought that adding this person to your experience was going to put you on cloud 9. No, you should be on cloud 9, and then the person that's also on cloud 9 will be added to your experience. But thinking that anything external to you is what's going to bring joy, peace, love, kindness, fulfillment, that's the error. No, those things come because you're happy. They don't come to make you happy. That's what you have to understand.
Yep, and he says here, there's no block. There is no block to your happiness save in your own thought life and mental imagery. Is fear or worry holding you back? Fear is a thought in your mind. You can dig it up this very moment by supplementing it with faith in success, achievement, and victory over all problems. So when they try to tell you, oh, there's a block. No, there really isn't a block. When you are affirming that desire, what are you thinking? Like T said earlier, you can have fear in the thing happening and faith in the thing not happening. You can have faith in the thing happening and fear in the thing not happening. So are you fearing that it might happen? Are you having fear that it might not happen? Are you having faith that it might happen? Or are you having faith that it might not happen? So you ask yourself what this quote unquote block is. But if it's fear, then you change it to faith. You change it to success, achievement, victory. And there is no block. It's what choices are you making?
Absolutely. Yep. It's really up to you. It's really up to you. Eitan, did you have any notes on chapter 15?
No, we're good. I mean, I did, but we're good.
Oh, okay.
What is it? Sure. Yes, I did.
So we can move on to chapter 16, which is your subconscious mind and harmonious human relations. Oh, wow. You got to know everyone is you pushed out, right? So now he's telling you where does the fault lie in the disgruntled relationships? Who's the problem in the relationship? Is it the other person or is it you? Who's the problem? Right? So
there's another SP chapter. Chapter
right. So this is why it is said, for with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged. When you know this law and the way your subconscious mind works, you are careful to think, feel, and act right towards the other. These verses teach you about the emancipation of man and reveal to you the solution to your individual problems. The problem is in your mind. And if you want to change it, if you want to change the problem, change your mind.
Men are horrible. Women are horrible. Well, you're going to experience men being horrible and women being horrible. Men are amazing. Women are amazing. You're going to experience women are amazing. Men are amazing. I mean, and it's a change. If you've been taught that, or you've had friends say, oh, you know, guys cheat. They do this. They do this. They do. Women cheat. They do this. They do that. And it's hetero suggestion, meaning suggestion coming from the outside, and you choose to accept it, then that's what you're going to experience. But if that's coming to you from the outside and you choose not to experience, like the sailor in this book, that the lady was like, oh, you look kind of sick on the boat. He's like, no, I'm not, I'm fine. And you choose, oh no, men, women, they're amazing. They're great. They're faithful. You know, that's what you're going to experience. So it's really your choice. It's what you're choosing. It's what you're habitually thinking.
Yeah, and it's just not right. And it's just not like romantic relationships, right? It's your relationship with your parents, your siblings, any familial relationships, your relationship at work, right? Your relationship with your boss or your coworkers or anyone, if you're a manager or supervisor, right? Anything that has a disturbance in your life when it comes to relationship is because of the thoughts in your own mind. It's because you're thinking it. If you weren't thinking it, then it wouldn't be happening. You are the creator of your reality because you're the only thinker in your reality. So what you think about others, that's how you're going to experience them, because you don't experience others, you experience your concept of them. You experience your thoughts about them. So you have to see people as, you know, easy to get along with, and they're easy to get along with because you're easy to get along with, right?
Right.
It begins and ends with you. So be the person that you want to see in the world, right? That's what you hear all the time. Be the change, right? Like Barack Obama said when he was running for president. Be the change that you want to see in the world. You have to be it first in order to see it.
Exactly. And here in this chapter, he talks about how a guy's inner speech held back his promotion. And he said that he began to pray frequently as follows: I am the only thinker in my universe. I am responsible for what I think about my boss. My sales manager is not responsible for the way I think about him. I refuse to give power to any person, place, or thing to annoy me or disturb me. I wish health, success, peace of mind, and happiness for my boss. I sincerely wish him well, and I know he is divinely guided in all his ways. And he said that he repeated this prayer, you know, every day, slowly and feelingly, and that he ended up getting the promotion. So, I mean, if you say that your boss doesn't like you, they won't like you. If you say they don't promote you at your job, they won't promote you at your job. If you say that they're against you, then they'll be against you. If you say your boss likes you, your boss will like you. If you say that you get promoted every time there's a promotion, you'll get promoted every time there's a promotion. You get along with all your coworkers, you're going to get along with all your coworkers. So again, it's what are you thinking? And it's like what T just said. It's your concept that you're experiencing. So
yeah, that's how we were able to change our relationship with my husband and his ex-wife. We decided to see her differently in our mind. You know, those are very tumultuous relationship. Is all that back and forth going to court. You know, so you're building up all these court fees and lawyer fees and all of this. And, you know, once we decided to see her differently, she had to show up differently. So they couldn't even talk on the phone or communicate with one another. They had to go through an app, a court appointed app, in order to communicate with one another. And now they can text one another. They got rid of the lawyers and everything. It's like a complete 180. He completely turned his back on his old concept of her, right? And that's what brought about the new experience.
Right.
Yep. So it works. You have to work here. The law works, but you got to work the law. You got to check. You got to choose to think differently.
You got to be doers of it.
Yep.
Be
not only hearers. Yep. Be not only hearers of the word, but doers also. Because if you're not doing it, then you're deceiving your own self.
Right. It's like watching a workout video. If you're watching a workout video and you're not doing the workout and then wondering how come you haven't lost the weight. Well, you're not doing the workout video. You're just watching it. They're telling you what to eat, what not to eat. Okay. But you're eating whatever you want and wondering why you're not losing weight. Well, they're telling you what you should eat, what not to eat. Although I say I eat whatever I want. My metabolism is always through the roof. So I don't have to worry about it. But that's another thing you guys can use. I eat whatever I want, and I stay at my main weight. I work out.
Yeah, because everyone's different when it comes to health and stuff, right? Yeah. And even here's the thing: no one can tell you how to get rich. I know people want to try to tell you. No one can tell you your roadmap to success because they're all roads lead to success. It's just about, do you believe that? Do you believe that you can be successful in your endeavors, right? That is the key, because all roads lead to happiness. All roads lead to success. But because the way I'm going to prosper is not going to be like any other, right? God is not in a box. He doesn't have to duplicate or replicate another person's journey, right? It can be similar. You can decide, okay, well, kind of like Kobe Bryant did with Michael Jordan, right? He was like, okay, I'm gonna study this man and I'm gonna do, and and so yes, you can do that as well. You can, but he studied him and he did everything, the moves, the thought process, the training, he replicated his life, right? So yeah, in that aspect, but you have to be what? Consistent and dedicated and committed to it. You just can't say I'm going to do it. You actually have to do it. Get it in your mind, right? Get it in your mind. That's where it starts. Get it in your mind. Yes, no conditions. We condition our desires too much too. Say that again, Jay.
Like Nike. Do it.
Just do it. But he had to get it in his mind first, right? That's what we have to understand. Before you take any action, get it in your mind first.
Well, that's what a lot of athletes do. I mean, all these Olympians that win, and Muhammad Ali, I mean, he's my all-time favorite. Talk about self-concept. Whew. And, I mean, if you ever want to do self-concept, just emulate him. How you want to be, emulate him. But
good night, Aaron. Thanks for joining.
Bye, Aaron. Thanks for joining, my friend. And you get it in your mind first. Like you envision it in your mind. Athletes do it all the time. They if they run track, they see themselves running the finish line and getting that gold medal. If they're gymnasts, Simone Biles is one that she writes down her goals for whatever Olympian game that she's going to. She'll write down the 2024 Olympics in Japan. I'm just paraphrasing. I got the gold medal, and no wonder why she gets the gold medal all the time, because she envisions herself getting the gold medal, winning the gold medal. And I mean, her movie and the other one, Gabby Douglas, she also put down a picture of the coach that she wanted, and her mother was like, "No way! We live here, and he's in Idaho. He can't be your coach." And she's like, "No, that's my coach. That's my coach, and I'm going to the Olympics. That's my coach, and I'm going to the Olympics, and I'm getting the gold medal. That's my coach, and I'm going to the Olympics, and I'm getting the gold medal." And she was driving her mother crazy with it. And there were pictures of this coach everywhere. The mother would go to the bathroom and open the medicine cabinet, and there's a picture of the coach. And she wrote, "My coach." and without even it's like everything just kind of came together. She didn't look for it. She wasn't, where is it? No, she just was like, that's my coach. I'm going to the Olympics. I'm getting the gold medal. That's my coach. I'm going to the Olympics. I'm getting the gold medal. Even when it came to getting a dog, she said, Mom, we're getting a dog. Mother said, we ain't getting no dog. We have a dog. We're getting a dog. We're getting a dog. And they ended up getting a dog. And I loved in this movie, both Gabby Douglas's, I highly recommend you guys watch it. It's on Lifetime. Gabby Douglas's and Simone Biles. What I loved is that they just kept their focus on their desire. They weren't looking for it, and it just kind of worked itself out on their behalf. Remember, the 3D is at your service. It's at your feet. So it worked itself on its behalf. You know, with Simone Biles, she wanted to go train in a different state, but the family didn't know anybody in that state. And the mother said, call the coach and see, you know, just give the coach a call. And the sister was like, you know, telling the mother, call the coach. So she calls the coach, and the coach says, well, actually, we can take her. We have a family here that is willing to have her train here. So then they tell Simone Biles, listen, if you want to go train, there's a family that'll take you. And so she got what she wanted. And then when she got what she wanted, she, remember you were saying fear and getting what you want? She kind of felt that fear. And her mother said, hon, this is what you wanted. So let's do it. You got it. Let's do it. So none of them were looking for it. None of them was like, where is it? They kept their focus on what they wanted. And all these athletes do this. They keep their focus on winning that gold medal, going through the finish line, hitting that home run, going, doing their gymnastics, whatever they do, ice skating. They all keep their mind on the prize. They don't care how it happens. As far as they're concerned, they're at the 2024 Olympics in whatever country it's at. And we're in 2020, but they're at the 2024 Olympics. And they won. And they got that gold medal. And they're seeing themselves standing there waving with a big smile and the American flag behind them. And as I'm saying this, I'm picturing myself winning the Olympics. You take yourself there. Have fun with it. I do it all the time. I'll sit there and, you know, and I'll be playing the guitar in my house, and I'll have like music playing, and my husband will be like, and I'll be like, honey, I'm in the middle of playing for like 50,000 people. Do you mind? I'm almost done with my concert. Oh, okay. And in my head, I'm at this concert, you know, and it's happening. So just have fun with it. Who cares about the how? Who cares about the when? Who cares about what's going on in the background? Give that to God. And if that starts coming up in your head, say, you know what? I surrendered this to a higher power. I surrendered this to the higher consciousness in me. I surrendered this to God. God's got this. I have this. I'm not even going to worry about the how and the when. You know what, God? I don't care how you do it. Thank you for doing it. And that just kind of gets it out of your hands. Because I mean, in the end, do we really want God's job? I don't. I don't want God's job. Jesus didn't even want God's job. Okay? All right? Let's go to Christianity. Jesus didn't even want God's job. Jesus just spoke it and trusted, and it was done. And, you know, Jesus wasn't worried. Jesus going, where is it? Why is it? He said,
what, Father? I know that always heareth me. I of my own self can do nothing. My Father works, and then I too work, right? I do what the Father is doing, right? It's an automatic thing. Yep.
And I'm glad, because I don't want you. I told God, I don't want your job. You do it how you do it. You do you, boo. You do you.
Right. We can't make anything happen, but that has been the error in our mind, right? That was a programming and a conditioning, thinking that you could make something happen. Right. Everything happens as a result of thought, right? It's just like you have to look at your thought as a seed, like you plant an apple tree, or if you do any type of gardening, right? Whether it's vegetable gardening or flowers or whatever, right? When you plant that seed, do you make that seed grow? No. The seed has its own way of manifesting. You may till the ground, you may put the right type of soil, right? You may water it, but you don't have nothing to do with sunshine. You don't make, like the sun comes and it goes and it does. Like you can command the weather. Yes, you can. Right. But
Yeah.
the seed has its own way of blooming, of coming into fruition. And all you're supposed to do is just plant it and not 2 days later try to dig it up and say, where has it taken root? What's going on? I can't see what's going on underground. I can't see. I don't know if this seed is it really going to grow? Is it really going to grow? Oh my goodness. Is it really going to grow?
Yeah.
A lot of times why farmers don't get the harvest that they want is because they didn't believe they could have it. That's the only reason. Everything is mental.
Like I've had roses and people say to me, well, how come your roses last such a long time? Well, whenever I get my roses, I talk to them. I'm like, oh, you're so beautiful. You're blooming. Yes, you are. You're going to last over 2 weeks. You're going to last a month. I mean, you're going to last a month, baby. Yes, you are. You're so blooming. And I talk to them like they're my babies. And all of a sudden my roses are like, they're bloomed. And the people like have come over and like, wow, the roses are gorgeous. How long have you I've had it for like 3 weeks? You've had your roses for 3 weeks and they look like that? I'm like, yeah. Well, how do you do it? Just talk to them. I just talk to them all the time. I just tell them how beautiful they are and they're always blooming. So, it'll listen to you. So it's the same thing. Talk to the things that you want. Talk to your marriage. Talk to your health. Talk to your car. Talk to your house. Talk to yourself. Talk to it. It hears you. It hears you. Talk to your body. It hears you. And it is at your feet. It has to do what you say because you're the only God in your reality. It has to do what you say. It's programmed that way. The things of the earth. We have dominion over the things of the earth. Guess what? The car is a thing of the earth. Your marriage is a thing of the earth. Your health is a thing of the earth. Your career is a thing of the earth. If it's in this earth, it's the thing of the earth. You have dominion over it. And thank you, Genesis. Woo!
Yeah. So his highlight in chapter 16 says, your subconscious mind is a recording machine which reproduces your habitual thinking. Think good of the other, and you are actually thinking good about yourself. Let me say that again. Yeah. Thinking good of the other, and you are actually thinking good about yourself. Why? You're the only thinker because you're the one having the thought. You're creating the experience. And I think that's the disconnect for a lot of us, right? We don't realize that it's our thoughts that are manifested. We think, well, they said this and they did that, and we like to point fingers at the other person. But let people have their thoughts because their thought only create in your world if you accept them. Stop accepting what others are saying about you. The only one that matters in your experience is you. Remember, you get to accept or reject. Take all of the lovely, discard the unlovely. But don't let someone else's thoughts about you build you up or make you feel good, because then their thoughts can also tear you down and make you feel bad. Don't give anyone power outside of you. The power belongs to God. All power belongs to God, to the I am within you, the power of your subconscious mind, no one else's.
Amen.
He says a hateful or resentful thought is a mental poison. Do not think ill of another, for so to do so is to think ill of yourself. You are the only thinker in your universe, and your thoughts are creative. Your thoughts are creative because the creative power in man is who? The mind, the thought. That's the law of the world. That's the law of our universe. It's that what you believe, you conceive. What you give your attention to, that's what you're going to experience. That's why it's not about a negative statement or a positive statement. It's about what you're giving your attention to.
It says here, your creative mind is your mind is a creative medium. Therefore, what you think and feel about the other or yourself, you are bringing to pass in your own experience.
Yep. Did you have anything, A-Town?
A-Town, are you there?
Yeah, I love the fact
Oh,
when
there you
it's.
are.
No, I'm here. I just love being one, reading through the thing, and two, just keeping up with y'all. But I love where it brings me back to, I think, one of the earlier chapters where our subconscious, they talk about the layers, or the I guess just how powerful or how integrated our subconscious is in our bodies, in our minds. So referring to what Gigi said, like our the subconscious, allows things to grow, allows things to germinate, allows, that's one thing why they say, reference, once you put the seed in the ground, don't dig it up. You know what I mean? In terms
Yeah.
of, making sure that, we're able to give that discipline, that consistency. And those are the nutrients that our faith needs in order for it to, come about. Um, but just how integrated our subconscious is, like you said, these animated objects are our thoughts, right? So, anything, it comes subjective to our imagination. And because it's a one player game, that gives us the rule and domain to really recognize how, not even how uh, responsive we are. Like T says, we're the operant power. And I love, a lot of things sometimes you just gotta, that's why I do expose my, come on, or just kind of expose myself to a lot of this information solely, is because it definitely, you got to hear it time and time again for it to kind of gain, for it to be a program, but also for you to like, for it to be able to be applied, or for you to be able to like, get more consciousness of it. And so I definitely appreciate this.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And what was you about to say, Gigi?
You are the only thinker in your world. You are responsible for the way you think about yourself and others. So you're the only thinker. So, when you realize that it's not in anybody else's hand, it's not, or like Reverend Ike used to say, it's not in the hands of a God in the sky. It's not in the hands of anybody but you. It's what you choose to accept and not accept. You're beautiful. We're all beautiful. We're made in God's image and likeness. So, okay, I don't believe God is ugly. I think God is beautiful. So we're beautiful, all of us. We're all beautiful. So when somebody tells you you're ugly, no, you're not. You're beautiful. Don't accept that thought. Somebody tells you you're stupid. No, you're not. You're smart. Don't accept the thought that you're stupid. Somebody tells you you're mean. No, you're not. You're nice. You're a nice person. Don't accept thoughts that you don't agree with. And you keep telling yourself, no, that's not me. I'm not ugly. I'm beautiful. No, that's not me. I'm not stupid. I'm smart. No, that's not me. This is who I am. Because what you consistently speak about, you bring about. You are the only thinker in your world. This is your world. Everybody else is a squirrel trying to get a nut. That's the song.
That is.
I saw you and him walking in the rain. You just a squirrel trying to get nuts. It's my world. That's a song from the 80s, guys. Look at it. It's awesome. It's hilarious.
Oh my God.
It's hilarious. Every now and then, I take some gems from that song and use it. It's okay. This is my world. This is just a squirrel.
know. You are the center of the universe. Don't let nobody tell you different. Everything literally revolves around you. Yep, because what's in you comes out of what's in you comes out of you. Yes, you're supposed to spread the joy, the love. You're supposed to let your light so shine. Be the joy giver. Be the joy bringer, be the peacemaker, be the love giver. Understanding, goodwill, and respecting the divinity of the other. And I think that's be lost on some people, right? We so love to talk about, well, I was gonna say you, because I do my best not to call people evil and low vibrational and energy vampires. I don't subscribe to that way of thinking, because if everything is I am and I am everything, then if I'm seeing someone as low vibrational, as an energy vampire, or as evil and wicked, then I'm really just seeing myself pushed out. So it's what you perceive of others is what you're going to experience in your world. Because if everyone is you pushed out in your world, because if everyone is you pushed out and you're seeing low vibration, then you have to, hey, but I know people don't want to accept that responsibility. That's too much accountability to say that these people are rooted in you, right? I'm not talking about before you awakened, right? When everybody was asleep, everybody was head that was doing the same thing while they were asleep. Now that you've awakened to the truth of your being, and you understand that your thoughts are creative, that the power in you is your mind. We're not going back into the past and trying to dig that up, right? As the Bible
Right.
says, let the dead bury the dead. Leave the past in the past. Go your way in peace, right? So the only thing you may want to do about the past is to forgive it. That's really all you need to do with the past.
Yeah.
Forgive it. Because everybody was asleep and everybody was hurting one another and doing everything while you slept. That was the hell you were creating because you didn't understand the power of your mind. But now we're talking about the power of mind. Now we're talking about you've awakened to the truth of your being. Now it's about creating your heaven. It's about, now you know that thoughts turn to things. So let me be more cautious about my thoughts. Now it's time to guard my heart with all diligence, because out of it flows the issues of life.
Right.
That's what, and it's about love, loving yourself. It causes you to love others, right? The greatest love of all, to love oneself. And then you can't give what you don't have. That's why the scripture says, give and it shall be given unto you. Give, and then it shall be given. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. You reap what you sow. You're sowing love, so you reap love. You sow peace, you reap peace. You sow joy, you reap joy. That's how it goes. What you put out must come back, multiplied, pressed down, shaken together, running over.
Yep. Your inner speech, representing your silent thoughts and feelings, is experienced in the reactions of others towards you. So that's a good gem right there, number 9. So, like at times, like when you're making that change, like the old thoughts, because the old thoughts, sometimes they don't want to go, they want to stick around because they don't want to get evicted. So they like to, kind of rear their ugly head, I should say.
Yeah.
Instead of, if a past experience comes in that you didn't really like, yes, I know, I forgive that person, and I send love to that person, and I let this go because we're not there anymore. We're here, So it's like you really have to guard your thoughts, be the watchman at the gate, what you're letting in and what you're putting out. And and if you happen to succumb to it, that's okay. It's okay. If you succumb to it, all right, it's not going to ruin anything. You just turn it around.
Absolutely. Yep. And so we'll move to chapter 17. So what's the next one?
Before we do, it says number 16, rejoice in success, promotion, and good fortune for the other, as well as yourself. I'm going to throw that in there too. In doing so, you attract good fortune to yourself. Yeah. So, see good things in everybody. And then number 17, never yield to emotional scenes and tantrums of others. Appeasement never wins. Do not be a doormat. Adhere to that which is right. Stick to your ideal, knowing that the mental outlook which gives you peace, happiness, and joy is good, is right, good, and true. What blesses you blesses all.
Absolutely. What blesses you blesses all, right? Because every blessing is really selfishness, right? Because what you're giving to yourself, whatever you're thinking of others, you're really thinking of self, because you're the only thinker. So that's how you have to understand it. Everything is connected, right? Everything is you. Everything is God. Everything is I am. And so once we can realize that the power is in the mind, that's why, with certain things that happen throughout human history and maybe specifically in this land, they, those who felt that they were the power, they had control of what information certain people could be privy to. That's why they hid this this from a lot of people, right? But the thing is that you were really hiding it from yourself because you came to experience this third dimensional plane. And so, yeah, the different atrocities that go throughout human history, and one person thinking, oh, I can just keep this information to myself, then no one else will be able to get it. I'm going to hide the books. I'm going to, burn the books. I'm going to, misrepresent the books or whatever. Understand that's the collective consciousness, right? And so everybody played their part in the collective consciousness. It's when you awaken that you rise above the collective consciousness. That's the whole thing. Once you awaken out of the deep sleep that fell upon you, and you rise and awaken to the truth, then now you're operating from a different perspective, from a different mindset. Now you're operating from the Christ consciousness. And it's so easy to get caught up in what happened in the past. It's so easy to point fingers and do the blame game and, get lost in the sauce of that reality. But remember, now that you've awakened, now that you understand the power of the mind, you're now here to create a different reality. Now you're here to bring your heaven down to earth. Now you're here to share the good news, right? Not try to convince someone, just share. If they're ready to receive it, they'll stay and they'll converse with you. If they're not ready to receive it, then what they're going to do? Debate and argue. When you see that's the line of thinking, that's when you walk away and wish them Godspeed. Say, peace be upon you. I'm going the other way.
Yeah, that's what Jesus did.
Yeah.
Jesus did the same thing. When they didn't let go, he said, okay. And he went his own way.
Went his own way in peace. Now this chapter 17, this is a great one.
Mm-hmm.
How to use your subconscious mind for forgiveness. Because I think a lot of people struggle with this part, the forgiveness part. Because as he states in this chapter, the forgiveness doesn't mean that you like the person. The forgiveness doesn't mean now you got to spend time with the person and be around the person, because forgiveness is really for you. It's never about the other person. Your forgiveness has nothing to do with other people. Even though you're forgiving other people, you're releasing yourself. By releasing them, you release yourself. When you imprison them, you imprison yourself. When you allow what they've done to hold you hostage and keep you stuck and keep you in regret and remorse and shame, right? And guilt. That isn't a happy life. That isn't producing the heavenly state in which you are now to enter.
Yeah, I get that one. I went through a situation where I could not forgive that person until somebody told me that. Somebody told me, you want to let go of this? Forgive them. I said, say what? No. I gotta do what? Forget for what? And then he kind of left it there. So I kept contemplating in my mind. It kind of kept bugging me, and I kept hearing that word, and I'm like, ugh. So I decided to Google it, and then I read scriptures on it, and I'm like, no, I don't want to. No, why? Why should I forgive this person? Until that person told me. I ran to that person again. He said, forgiveness is really for you. It's not for the other person. And I'm like, what? What do you mean forgiveness is for me? Forgiveness is for you. It's why do you think God's mercies are made new every day? Imagine if God held a grudge.
Well, according to certain religions, he does.
I know, but in the Bible,
according to certain religions, God is holding a grudge because he can't wait to send your tail to hell. He can't wait. He especially a lot of the believers, boy, they salivating they foaming at the mouth, waiting to see you burn eternity. You just be like, why you want people, why you gonna see, you gonna find out hell is hot. Hell, you gonna see, you gonna find like why do you sound like you get joy out of that? Like you sound like you a little bit too happy about you thinking people going to burn for eternity, but okay.
Burn, baby, burn. Just go.
But like you said, what if you thought, what if God's mercies weren't new every day, right? What if every moment, that's what day means. It doesn't mean a 24-hour period. The only day you have is now. It means the moment of now, right?
Right.
Yep, yep. And so chapter 17 starts off with, if you set up resistance in your mind to the flow of life through you, this emotional congestion will get snarled up in your subconscious mind and cause all kinds of negative conditions. God has nothing to do with unhappy or chaotic conditions in the world. Man's negative and destructive thinking brings about all these conditions. Therefore, it is silly to blame God for your trouble or sickness.
Yep. And we love to blame God, don't we?
Yep, yep, yep. We don't realize it's the thoughts of our own being. It's our own mind wreaking this havoc upon our life. Now, yeah, when you were asleep, you had absolutely no idea that it was your thoughts. You know, you had absolutely no idea that you were creating this, because you didn't know. Because you're told when you come into this experience that you're a sinner, right? That you're unworthy, you're undeserving, you're an imperfect being. You have this devil to contend with, and then you also have God to contend with, because if God doesn't like what's going on, he's also going to allow different things to come into your life to teach you a lesson. He has to teach you a lesson. People love the whole teaching you a lesson mindset when it comes to the difficulties and troubles and tribulations in their life, not understanding that those difficulties and tribulations and trials in your life is a result of your thinking. If you thought differently, you wouldn't have those experiences. If you just had a different perspective. And it really comes from the judgment. Who said it was bad? You did. Who said it was good? You did. But there's only good. There's only God. That's it. It's your judgment of the situation, which causes the hurt, which causes the harm, which causes the difficulty. He says go ahead.
Go ahead, T.
He says self-condemnation is called hell, bondage, and restriction. Let's say that again. Self-condemnation is called hell, which is bondage and restriction. Forgiveness is heaven, harmony, and peace. You cannot be hurt when you know that you are master of your thoughts, reactions, and emotions. You are master. That's why the Bible is talking about self-mastery. When it talks about Jesus Christ and his 12 disciples, it's talking about the I am and the 12 disciplines of mind. Disciplining your mind in faith, which is Peter. Disciplining your mind in love, which is John. Disciplining your mind in righteous judgment, which is James. You're to discipline those disciples and make them friends. In the beginning, they're serving you. Then they become intimately acquainted with you and they become your friend. Faith is your friend. It's not against you. It's there to console you and to be your confidant and to bring about your expected end. Love is there to nourish you, uplift you, fulfill you, overflow within you, right? That's the self-mastery. That's bringing your entering the kingdom, the joy of the Lord. Enter into the joy of the Lord is going into your kingdom within, that heavenly state of mind.
Forgiveness, it really is for you. When I chose to forgive this person, and trust me, it was not easy, but I said it to myself, grudgingly, mind you, I forgive him. I forgive him. I forgive them. I forgive them. And it was like that. Okay? Next day, begrudgingly again. Next day, with tears. And then I forgave me. Well, that one. Forgiving him was easy, but forgiving me, and I was like, okay, I forgive me. I forgive me. And then I started crying. I forgive me, but said it anyway. I forgive me. And the moment, and it didn't take years or anything. It took maybe a couple of days, whatever. I felt a release. So whenever they mentioned this person, if I saw this person, whether they said hi or not, didn't matter to me. I felt okay. I was like, man, I forgive him, whatever. Yeah, I forgive him. That's fine. I wish him love, whatever. And it just takes that burden, like he just said, it takes that crap off of you and it releases you where you enter into your own heaven. So I believe forgiveness is powerful. And maybe I had to go through that in order to learn how forgiveness, is so powerful. So now if something, happens or whatever, I forgive them. I let it go. And before I go to bed, if something, I'll just tell myself, I forgive them. Like he has a prayer that's similar. It says, forgive those and then just let it go. Because it takes the power away from whatever happened. It just takes it away. It just sets you free. So this chapter even, there's even a part where there was a guy that was a murderer, and a murderer learned to forgive himself. And the moment that he saw himself as a different person, he was having a tough time forgiving himself. And then it's like realizes he's not that guy that committed the crime 15 years ago. He's a new person. So he chose to forgive himself. Yes. And you forgive situations, forgive people, and forgive you. Forgive you for whatever you did and for whatever you didn't do at that time. You learn from that experience. Okay, you went through that experience. You learned through that experience. And do you ever want to go through that experience again? No, you can say, you know what? I learned from it. By the way, I don't want to go through that experience again. Don't give me that. I don't want that anymore. Bring me this instead. Because you're in charge. You're the master. Like you were saying, master your thoughts.
Yep, that's it. It's really up to you to and I know we keep being repetitive talking about thoughts, right? And then I know you will hear people say, well, you're not your thoughts. I don't really care if you are your thoughts, if you identify with your thoughts. Just know that your thoughts is what's creating your reality. Saying you're not your thoughts, that's neither here nor there. It's really about what do you are intending, your intention about life. What do you want to bring forth in your life? How do you want to think about yourself, right? The whole point of the Bible is about the thoughts that's going on, because your thoughts is the Lord of your life, and it operates through a law, and that law is belief, or you can call it assumption, or you can call it intention, or you can call it acceptance, you can call it trust, you can call it faith, whatever you want to call it, right? But the law of life is the law of belief. It's what you accept to be true will be true for you. No one else, just you. He says your emotions follow thoughts, and you have the power to reject all thoughts which may disturb or upset you. You have the power to accept or reject, right? I said before you this day, good and evil, life and death. Choose life, that you and your seed may live. Your seed is your desire. You want your desire to come to fruition, so you have to give life to it by believing in the expected end of it, right? Seeing that it's already a thing. It's already a thing. And forgiveness, as Neville Goddard would say, is about letting go of the old state and embracing the new. To forgive, his direction about forgiveness is you forgive every man by seeing them in the state that you want them to be in, not the one they're currently expressing. So if you have a family member or yourself or whoever it is in your life and they're unemployed or they don't have enough money, to forgive them is to see them as flourishing, as successful, as prosperous. That's the forgiveness that cures all, that sustains all. Seeing people differently, that's true forgiveness.
Mm-hmm. And forgiveness is, like he says here, forgiveness is necessary. It's necessary for healing. Forgiveness of others is essential to mental peace and radiant health. You must forgive everyone who has hurt you if you want perfect health and happiness. Forgive yourself by getting your thoughts in harmony with divine law and order. You cannot really forgive yourself completely until you have forgiven others first. To refuse to forgive yourself is nothing more or less than spiritual pride or ignorance. Damn, Dr. Murphy. I'm just kick me in the balls next time, but yeah, I like this one. Did kick me in the balls. Well, dang, okay. Mic drop.
Right, mic drop.
Woo. Oh, that was smack me in the face. Hard. But it led me to that. It led me to that paragraph for some reason. So thank you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. And forgiveness is love in action. Like you explained it with Neville Goddard. You know, the moment you start seeing people the way you want to see them, or you start seeing them differently, they will begin to express it in your physical reality. You know, so if they're being, if you say hi to somebody, like I've used this story before about my boss at the restaurant I worked at, and nobody liked her, and I was the only freak that did. I was the only one that I was like, oh, she's nice. Well, she's probably busy. She probably has a lot of things going on in her head. Oh no, she's mean. She's this. She's this. So to everybody, she was mean, but to me, she was nice in my head. And she'd come in, I'd say good morning, and she'd kind of nod and walk away, and I'd be like, oh, she said good morning. Look at that. She's a nice person. She's sweet. Even though she's got a lot going on in her mind, she's nice. She's sweet. Next day, good morning. She gave me another nod. Okay, look, she said good morning. So, call things that be not as though they were. Then they say good morning, and oh, look, they said good morning. Oh, I don't like you. Oh, look, they just said they like me. They didn't text you. Oh my God, I just got their text. You get on the scale, says, oh my God, I weigh 150. Look, I lost weight. The scale says something else. Who cares about the scale? The scale's got to bend to your will. Oh, look, I weigh 150 pounds. Look at that. And you just, I mean, today they call it being delulu, being delusional, but no, you're calling things that be not as though they were. Call things that be not as though they were.
Yeah.
And you'll begin to see, you'll see it. I mean, and the moment you get kind of lost in the thing that you want as though it's now, when you get lost in it, you don't even worry about the how or the when, because it just shows up. I mean, I cannot tell you how something came or when it came, because I wasn't focused on that. I was, my awareness, like they say, my focus was in already possessing the thing, as though I already had that thing. So I can't tell you how it happened or when it happened. I can't tell you it happened in 2 days or in 2 weeks or whatever. I can't. Even if I were to think about it. I was like, well, when did I don't know. I don't care when it happened. It happened.
Right.
So, forgive. It's okay. Forgive. You can, you don't have to like the person. He even says that here in this chapter. You don't got to like the person to forgive them. You got to get together and have coffee with them the next day. But, you're expressing love by forgiving. So, and that sets you
and then you know how you forgive when you think of the person and there's no sting, right? Like he gave the example if, you were having difficulty with someone and I came and told you, oh, they just got a new position or they just got a job and you still feel disgruntled, you still feel angry. That means you haven't truly forgiven them. You know that you've truly forgiven someone when the sting of resentment and hurt and as what's his name? Reverend I would say hatred and hatred has dissipated. Then you've truly forgiven. And it does not mean that you're looking to break bread with the person or spend all this time with them. It just means that you don't hold any grudge against them. You wish them peace, love, and success. Why? Because what you wish for another, you're actually wishing for you. This whole world is selfish. Everything you do is to bring it back to you because that's the law. What you give, you receive. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. Shall men give unto your bosom?
Yeah.
Yeah, because what you do to others, you're doing to you. Why? Because you're the only thinker. Like, that's what we have to drive home. You're the only thinker. You're the only creator. So you're the reason. Yeah. That's it. That's all. You're the reason.
You're the
So
reason. It's all you.
reasons, the reasons that we're here.
Reasons. Reasons are we here. Going Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Right.
You know, the thanks to you, I've added so many new songs to my playlist.
That's all right. That's all right.
It
Yeah.
wasn't so funny. I was just like, were you just singing that song? Like, yeah. That's T.
Yeah.
T's iPod
He said-
playlist.
He says resentment, hatred, ill will, and hostility are behind a host of maladies. Forgive yourself and everybody else by pouring out love, life, joy, and goodwill to all those who have hurt you. Continue until such time as you meet them in your mind and you are at peace with them. In your mind, when you think of them, what feelings come up, right? Because it's your thoughts about it that is creating the feelings, right? If you think differently about them, you'll have different feelings about them. So that's why you want to send love. You want to release joy, peace, goodwill, that they flourish in all that they do. And you want to keep saying it and keep saying it and keep saying it until it's impressed upon the subconscious, so you are really being sincere about it. Sincerity is key. You're not just, as I said, you're not just doing it as a robot, right? And you're doing it because you could say it over and over again, but as soon as they do something that you don't like, or as soon as you hear them, if you haven't been sincere about it, if you really haven't impressed it upon your subconscious, you're still going to be able to, those old thoughts and old feelings are going to rear their ugly head.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I do is I do it for them. Like, I'll wish them peace, prosperity, and I'll also wish it upon me too.
Mm-hmm.
So that way it's like I'm not leaving myself out. And even if you it's a practice. You practice this. So let's say they talk about the person and you still get that little sting in the middle of that sting, in your mind say, I forgive them. I forgive them. Oh, good for them. I forgive them. Even if you got that sting, let them be there. Okay. I forgive them. Oh, good. Good for them. Oh, that's great. Good for them. That's good for them. I'm happy for them. And your mind say, yeah, I'm forgiven. Good for them. Let that sting be there. It's okay. You practice. You practice. It's like when you're working out, you're working out, you're lifting weights, and, your muscles hurt. That's okay. You do it again the next day. Muscles hurt. That's okay. You do it again the next day. It's a practice. So you practice forgiving the person because, you've been angry at them and that sting has been there for so long that you kind of have to, coax that sting out. And how do you coax it out? By practicing forgiveness and sending them love. So, and it's beautiful because it sets you free. It puts you in a state of harmony, and the more you practice it, the more you're impressing the subconscious mind and putting that in that new thought. Because the old thought of being mad at them and hating them, it's been there so long, or it has stuck there that you have to coax it out by forgiving them. So even if there's a sting, let the sting be there. Even if there's a oh yeah, really, that's great. Good for them. Good for them. Yeah, I'm happy for them. Yeah, I forgive them. Yeah, I forgive them. Good for them. Yeah, send them love. Yeah, okay. It don't matter. Who cares if you feel mad, angry? Oh, but don't let it be there. Let it be. But say you forgive them. Like Jesus Christ. Oh my God, Lazarus. He's asleep and I'm waking him up. He's asleep and I'm waking him up. Yeah, I know he's asleep and I'm waking him up. I know he's asleep and I'm waking him up. Yeah, he's asleep and I'm waking him up. It don't matter. Let those feelings be there. I forgive them. Yeah, oh, good for them. Good for them. I forgive them. Yeah. Good for them.
Right, because when the Bible is talking about death, it's talking about spiritual death. It's not talking about a physical death, right? The Bible is not a literal book physically. It's a literal book spiritually, because we understand there is no death, right? He said, I am the God of the living and not the dead. There is no death in reality, right? Our bodies just return back to the earth from which it came, right? And the spirit, that's eternal. That's a part of you that can never die, right? And so when he says, oh, I'm bringing sight to the blind and I'm raising the dead, we're talking spiritually. Now, physically, can that be a physical expression as well? Yes, it can, because all things are possible to divine mind, right? But some people just came here to experience physical limitations in the body, whether it's blindness or deafness or mute or some type of, being paralyzed in the body or whatever. Some people came here, some souls came to experience those physical limitations, but understanding that those physical limitations do not stop you from having an abundant life, because abundance is mental, it's not physical, right? But it expresses itself physically once you get it inwardly, spiritually, mentally.
Right.
Yep. A-Town, you there?
Hey, town.
I don't know if you
Hey, yes,
Hey.
That works.
No, over here in the background doing some work, but yeah,
Oh,
no.
okay.
But I didn't know I was up actually too, because I had the request on for a little while, so my bad.
I know, but you got to tell me, because I'm not watching it, because I got my screen moved over so I can see the comments better.
That's about.
So I can see all comments, and it allows me to scroll up. It's better to have it, so when it's slid over, I can't see who's requesting up. So a lot of times you have to let me know. And then when I moved it, and I was like, oh, he requested up. But we want you to share with us whatever you want to share with us earlier.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Okay. So, in the so I guess I have three businesses, and I was my partners in my business had it was a just real lot of just different tension in regards to executive as far as vision, mission, and also just the daily activities and things of that nature, just running a business. And both of the partners, their family, and they were just really, there was a lot of tension in terms of contribution, in terms of just allocating the proper resources, also and things of that nature. So I handle the brunt of the bulk of the operations and marketing, and of course executive. And so I position them to, really just leverage their partnerships and what they provide. A lot of them bring credibility in certain marketplaces. Some have a good network, so I use those to do such things. So fast forward. It had in my mind, it had been really frustrating in terms of just like, okay, a business needs to make money. The business, everybody has a role to fill, and certain roles were not being filled, and it was very frustrating for me because we actually have a mission home that we provide, and then also I do marketing and operations for a nonprofit as well, and so basically I'm now. Basically, long story short, I'm running everything now, right? To where the nonprofit is mine, not really mine, but I'm able to put that person as a brand ambassador or keep them at a minimal CEO level where I'm able to come in as an online business manager and kind of run the show in terms of everything that's involved. We got a lot of different things involved in our nonprofit, and their vision just wasn't aligned in a global fashion, in a business sense, to where just because it's a nonprofit, it's still a business, right? There's our clients, which is our donors. There's programmed clients, that we have to attend to, or at least we want to forge that workflow through in order to appropriate them in the back end of our business. And so they just weren't asking the appropriate questions. And I'm regarding my business partner. So I had been going through a lot of different talks with you guys, like, man, just trying to figure this stuff out. And I think maybe about a month and a half ago, I kind of like put it out there. Long story short, there had been some type of experience that occurred to where my one business partner, he just fell off, and it subsequently happened to where the CEO of the nonprofit, they had to really align with what I'm already putting in place, with what is already happening. And so everything just kind of fell into the lap, and now I'm able to have my team really just take over, and I'm able to give more directional input, more creative guidance, along with the marketing operations and the vision behind the nonprofit as well. And tax wise, just for instance, for people that don't know, a nonprofit is a good leverage for to be able to minimize tax your taxable income. And having three businesses, the nonprofit allows us to be able to just mitigate our tax liability. And so, but anyway, just thankful for the advice from you guys. Just for again, this is manifesting, this is life festing, you know what I mean?
Yes, yes,
And so
beautiful.
you guys definitely
Wow.
helped me.
Yes,
Yeah.
beautiful. That's
For
great.
sure, for sure. So it's a lot on the plate, but that growth, the being able to fill those shoes, like I'm definitely built for it, and so yeah, so oh yeah, and so in that I was able to acquire maybe like one, two, three, four, about four different people to come work for me, and I also and some good people, and then I'm also taking over another nonprofit to where a product that we have is. I don't know if people are familiar with a fractional CFO or a fractional COO, where basically it's not a full-time CO. We're able to participate in your business and set you up as a fractional where you're not having to give us the whole 50, $100,000, where it'd be more or less like $25,000 a year or 15, something like that. However the case is, I've been able to now be a fractional board member. So a fractional board member basically is what I'm doing now for the No Such Story, where I'm coming into that business, sitting on their board, and if it's a relative, if you have board members, or if it's a solo board, just you, I come in and basically an online business manager for a nonprofit, and we help them with their minutes, with their programs, with their sponsor packages, with their vision, with their branding guidelines, with everything. And so it's a beautiful. I haven't seen it, I know we got 14 people on this line. So if I see this service, this package come out, I'm coming for one of y'all on this line. But yeah, so that's a new product, that's a new service. So innovation has definitely come out of just the pressure, just the experience. So I'm definitely excited. And but I just want to just give y'all thanks for just being able to walk with me through that particular journey.
Nice. Oh, that's beautiful. Thanks for the update. Yeah, so is this more was this what you wanted more than what you expected?
Yeah, it was.
Everything just
So
fell
it,
into
it was.
place, huh?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's more than what I expected. But just having to go through some of the nuances with personality wise. But I'm gonna I'm gonna be able to really wrap all that up, and I'm having to know how to really check things. I'm having to have certain level of conversations that other people aren't able to have. And as a CEO, you gotta have these level of conversations if it's anybody within your organization. And because these things have not been happening, I have to assume the role, especially if I'm in it, especially if I'm working on it, especially if it's my business, and especially if it's an income stream. So yeah, so having these sharp people that are now at my fingertips, now I can really leverage other people's money, other people's time, other people's energy. So it's about to, about to really beast out, really about to show out, and
Oh,
really make
that's
some things work.
beautiful.
Hmm.
Man, happy for
That's great.
you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yay. Love it.
That's amazing. Love, love, love it. Yes. So any
And
final thoughts on the
in this,
chapter?
yeah, this chapter here, how he says that that God or life doesn't condemn you or punish you. That life forgives you. So if you
Mhm.
cut yourself, it heals you. If you, God forbid, break a bone or something, it heals your bone. It's like life is forgiving. Life has, God, life does not condemn you or punish you. So anybody that tries to tell you, oh, God is punishing you, no, he's not. God is no respecter of persons. Life plays no favorites. Life or God seems to favor you when you align yourself with the principles of harmony, health, joy, and peace. God never sends disease or sickness or accidents or suffering. We bring those things by our own negative, destructive thinking based on the law that what we sow, we also reap. So, if something's going on and oh, it's not God testing you, it's not God punishing you, it's not that God is picking on you, or that God is saying, okay, I'm going to favor this person, but I'm going to have a hell of a good time with you. No, it's what you're thinking. It's what your thoughts are. So, if something is you feel like you're kind of being picked on by life, you can kind of, instead of saying it's God, just ask yourself, what am I thinking? Why is this happening? And you can ask
Yeah,
yourself, why is this happening? And you will answer yourself. Because
you will.
I've
So yeah, so that want to speak to the question that Alexa, hey Alexa, asked
Hi,
about.
Alexa.
He's saying that the you come in to this world with some physical limitations, right? Like some people are born, not having their eyesight or being able to hear, or maybe they come, bearing some physical manifestations. And I had thought, that's something that I used to struggle with too, when you would see people, like babies come into this world with certain, physical ailments or whatever. And so I thought about the scripture where I believe it was blind Bartimaeus. I think that's what it is. And, I can't remember if it was the disciples or the Pharisees asked Jesus, well, why was this man born blind? What did he do? Was it as a result of a sin from, the parents or, the forefathers or whatever? And Jesus said it was nothing that he was done. It was so that the works of God could be made manifest. And so then you have to break that down spiritually, right? Because God is the I am, and the I am is the cause of all experiences, right? And so anyone born with a physical limitation understands that we're subjected to the consciousness, the collective consciousness, right? So it could be, and it's also because thoughts turn to things, and the person may have decided, maybe, who knows, and because life is eternal, there is no past or no present. I mean, no past or no future, it's only now. And so because the I am is the creator and the works of God must be made manifest, it has to be something that we chose, but maybe chose ignorantly, not knowing that the mind is the creator. Right. So it's like when a mother is carrying the baby in the womb, right? The baby is picking up all of the emotions, all of the thoughts that the mother is carrying. And it's not that the mother is not that it's a sin, right? Because it's not that it was some type of punishment, right? We look at physical ailments as punishments or as trials or as lessons, as opposed to just experiences. And so that's because that was a big question in my mind. It was like, yeah, why? But we look at it as a wrong or right, a good or bad, or an evil thing, as opposed to, no, it's just an experience. That's it. It's part of the human experience and nothing more. But we want it to be evil. We want to say, oh, to be born with a physical limitation is an evil thing. It's not an evil thing. It's just part of the human experience. Yes, sometimes our bodies will take on certain limitations. That's part of being human. It's the limitation of the flesh, right? It's not until you come into the awakened state that you can transform that physical limitation, right? And it depends on your faith to believe that it's possible for you.
Right.
Because people have corrected eyesight. People have corrected, whether we use glasses, right? We created eyewear, or maybe we created earpieces for people to be able to hear better, right? And whether it's a physical manifestation or it's an inner transformation.
Yeah.
So that's all. I mean, you get to decide how you want to continue. Some people are okay being physically blind, but experience this world and still have a great life, right? There are people that are physically, but have found a way to experience an amazing life, an abundant life, even though the body is said to not be able to see 20/20. But you always will have your mind. You can always, right? They say even people that are deemed physically blind can paint, are great musicians, great painters, sculptors, right? Because other senses are heightened. What'd you say?
Stevie Wonder, Ray
Mm-hmm.
Charles.
Yeah. And they're just considered legally blind. They're not, like we have to understand what legally blind versus like can't see at all, right? They could see, they're just legally blind. So like they maybe not be able to like drive a car or something like that, right? But they can see on some level. They just are legally deemed, not being able to drive or
And
to
then
see.
there was Helen Keller, who was blind, deaf, and mute, and she wrote books. She was a writer, and I think an artist too, a painter. So, and it's crazy because there are people who have what you would call handicaps, and look at all the great things that they can do. So, us who don't have handicaps, even greater things we should be able to do. But it's all how you think.
It's a mental thing, right? Because they're not letting their physical limitations deter them. And people, like you said, don't even have a physical limitation and haven't did nothing compared to what those who have the physical limitation. Because the limitation is not physical. The limitation is what? Mental. It's mental. Yep. That's why you're told by scripture not to judge from appearances. You don't walk by what you sight. You walk by faith. You walk by the inner, what can go on inwardly, not what goes on outwardly.
Yep.
But yeah, that was it. Because I used to struggle with that whole thing with the physical ailments, physical limitations, like you said, what do we call handicaps or disabilities or whatever. But we're saying society has deemed it a handicap. Society has deemed it limitate. People may not even think anything wrong with them until somebody told them it was. Right? Yes. Oh, 30K. Let's go. Right? Some people it's like when you're a child, you have no concept of poverty until somebody tell you that you're poor, right? If you got a place to lay your head, you got shoes on your feet, you're eating, you may not be eating some in your mind, your stomach is being full. It's not till you get older, you get around other people, then it starts to be this comparison, right? And this judgment and this labeling. And then you're like, oh man, okay, we really were poor when you compare yourself to someone else. But as a kid, you have no concept of what that is. You have no concept.
Yep. I never adopted the P word.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Never ever called myself that. Never ever.
Right, because who says that having a bunch of things makes you rich? Right. Having a bunch of things doesn't make you rich. Right. No more. Right. It's really about perspective and how you see life. Right. And then stop letting someone else define life for you.
Right. I just ate some delicious chicken. Ooh, I'm rich. I just had a good meal. I'm rich. Oh man, yeah. I just said, I'm blessed. This is a delicious meal. I just had some great coffee at Starbucks. Oh, thank you.
Because wealth starts in the mind. That's where, and so does poverty, right? If you keep looking at what you don't have, to them that have it shall be given, but to them that have not, right? So if you keep talking about what you don't have, even that what you think you have shall be taken away. That's why you have to be able to see abundance, even if you can't physically see it. You have to mentally see it. You have to understand that this universe is an abundant place.
Yep.
That God is abundant. God lacks no good thing.
Right.
And it's not the accumulation of things that brings prosperity or defines wealth. It's about peace, love, joy, happiness, and then having as much money as you need, enough currency that you need to do what you want to do when you want to do it. And so if you think it takes $1 billion to live an exciting life, and you truly believe that you can have the $1 billion, $1 billion will make its way to you. It will make its way to you.
Yep.
The thing is, you can get caught up. Oh, I've been trying to win the lottery. I've been trying to win the lottery for 2 years, and $1 billion still haven't came. But that's why it hasn't came, because you keep thinking it hasn't came. You just supposed to be living your best life, not trying to figure out what day is going to happen. It's already done, right?
Not trying. You've won the lottery, and
Yep.
envision it like that lady did. You know, in that that guy that's got that YouTube page, Tim
Oh
something.
yeah, Cynthia Stratford. Yeah, I mean a bunch of ladies on there have a bunch
There's a
of
bunch of other
people. His
on.
whole right, his whole channel is dedicated to people deciding that they wanted to win the lottery and winning it. Right.
Seeing themselves winning it. So you're not trying
Like
to win
that's
the
how
lottery.
some people see TikTok, right? I don't know if you've been seeing on TikTok where people are like, you know, you had the TikTok posting is like having a free lottery ticket, right? And they were like, you know, and like with the lottery, you can't win if you don't play, right? How can you expect your videos to go viral if you don't post them?
You don't post them, right?
And you know, you had people saying, oh man, you know, one lady, she posted 40 times a day. Another person, 20, 25 times a day. A lot of the bigger TikTokers, those that have, you know, more followers or whatever, they're like, yeah, I post 5 to 10 times a day. I post 20 to 25 times a day. You're going to know me. How are you going to know me if I never post, right? If I'm only posting once a week or once every other day, but I want, you know, it's a billion people on this page, right? But you want people to know who you are. You know, you probably can start lessening the amount of times you post if once you build your following, right? Once people know you. And in that, it's just like when McDonald's, even the big brands, right? When you have Amazon and you have McDonald's and, you know, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, when they ran ads, did they run them once a day?
Yeah, more than once a day.
Every channel you were on, you were seeing a ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it, right? Like when we were growing up, Big Mac, filet of fish, quarter pound of fresh fries, icy coke, thick shade, sundaes and apple pies. You deserve a break today, so come on out and get away. And McDonald's, I remember that song. You see how that song, we ain't heard that song and I don't know when. As a kid, that's all you heard, McDonald's. You think they played that commercial one time?
Every minute on the minute they were playing. Where I used to
So
get,
that's how you have to, you know, so those of you that are looking to be content creators or whatever, you know, I'm like, y'all about to get sick of me because that's, and the thing is, I came to that revelation and then I started seeing the videos, right? I was like, I was thinking to myself, oh yeah, I gotta be like the big brands when it came to the commercial ads. They ran these ads constantly. When I'm on Instagram, I see an ad almost every 2 or 3rd scroll I do. I'm seeing a Nordstrom's ad, a Nordstrom's Rack ad, a Macy's ad, a Shein ad, a Fashion Nova. Every time I scroll on Instagram, I'm seeing all of these ads, even on TikTok, right? People selling something. You're scrolling, it's the TikTok, the TikTok affiliate. You know, you're seeing it. It's like, yes, that's how you impress the subconscious. You want people to keep seeing you. Think about songs that you didn't like, right? When you first heard it, it's like, oh, I ain't feeling that song. But you kept hearing it because the radio kept playing it, and then eventually you found yourself singing it. Right?
Like that Taylor Swift song, that, ooh, look what you made me do. I could not stand that stupid song. And then all of a sudden, now I like it. I'm like, why do I even like this song? I didn't even like this song before. But and that makes sense because it's consistently being played. I was watching a movie on Tubi, and this commercial of it wasn't McDonald's. I think it was White Castle. It just kept going, it kept coming on, and kept coming on, and kept coming on. And it was like on repeat, the same commercial. So I'm like, you know what? When this commercial comes on, if this commercial comes on again, as this commercial is playing, I'm going to affirm. So I'm going to do my own commercial in my own head. So when it came on, I just muted it and I just started giving thanks and saying my affirmations. And it came on and I just giving thanks and saying my affirmations. It came on again and I kept giving thanks and saying my affirmations. I'm like, you know what? Every time a commercial comes on, I'm just going to say my affirmation. I'm just going to do my own advertising. You know, Gigi, you're an amazing person. You're awesome. You're great. Oh, you know, Gigi, you're an amazing person. You're awesome. You're great. I'm just going to do my own commercial. because
Yeah,
that's
but
what
in A-Town, speaking to that, you said they pay for the marketing and branding. That's what these social media platforms are doing. They're flipping that on its head. That's why a lot of these celebrities, like people that quote unquote put in the work, they have been, celebrities. That's why they kind of look down on the social media celebrities, right? Because they didn't have to put in the work, the so-called work that that the mainstream celebrities do, right? So they kind of when they invite them to the BET Awards or the NAACP Awards or to the whatever the social atmosphere that's coming around, and they're allowing those social media celebrities to step into that lane. Some people give them the side of like they're not real stuff, they're not really, and they some of them have more followers than some of these mainstream celebrities does. Some of these people got 15-20 million people following them on TikTok and YouTube, and and those people, all they did was decide to give their life to whatever they were doing. And
Right.
because they were keeping people engaged on a particular platform, whether it was YouTube or TikTok, that's how they built up, their brand or whatever. And then they expand it out. So this is what social media is doing. It's kind of changing. Now, I'm not saying that they're not trying to figure out how to make money and profit off of it, because now they do offer that you pay to promote your content. At first, that wasn't a thing. There was no paid promotion at first on these social media platforms. That's something they just recently did, probably in the last year or two, especially TikTok. You see it more now. They want you to promote your video, paid promotion. I know my daughter, she built up her following on Instagram and TikTok, and she didn't pay for anything. She just talked about stuff that was relatable, and she said, I know that when I don't post as often, I don't get as much engagement, but if I post at least 3 to 5 times a day on TikTok, I'm gonna get a viral TikTok that's I'm gonna reach like 500,000 million people. She gets about, every month she probably gets about 3 or 4 videos that go viral that's in the hundreds of thousands or million views, because she makes some pretty good money on TikTok. But now she has a job that she really loves, so she doesn't post as much on TikTok or whatever. So she has like income coming from other places. But like she had 2 pages on Facebook. Her second page on Facebook, she didn't have it attached to any, like her first page on Facebook, she didn't have it attached to Instagram. And then she created a second page. So she got offered from Facebook to attach that second page to her Instagram, and said if she was to post 10 times, for 10 days, twice a day. So she had to post like 20 reels. She would get like $250 to do that. She started doing it. They're doing it for like 3 months. She started doing it on Facebook. She has reels that have reached over like hundreds of thousands of views. Like she has like 60,000 shares and all these. I'm just like, dang, girl. And she was like, yes, I just want to get paid for being pretty. That's her thing. I just want to get paid for being pretty. I'm just going to, so they offered me into the program. I really wasn't even posting on that second page. But then once they asked me to, now that's why I post, and that's why my views are blowing up. She has about 60,000 followers on TikTok. She has about 30,000 on Instagram, right? And she just started posting.
So the more you post, the
Being
more
consistent with it.
Oh,
Because what's funny is when she first got on TikTok, she was going live with one of these guys from Wild and Out.
okay.
This guy,
Yeah,
this guy that was on Wild and Out, he used to do these lives, and she was one of the people. And so they were like, she kind of they were kind of like, it's into that comedic atmosphere. So it was all about kind of like talking about one another, like roasting one another. So she kind of like left that alone. But that is what she had like had grew her followers. Like I think she got to 10K doing that. And then she let that go. And she said, well, I just like to talk. I just want to give my opinion, and I don't want to talk about my life. I want to talk about other people's life. So she said what she would do would go to Twitter and see what was the trending topic, and she would do her little research, and then she'd make a video and talk about it. and that's what she get her views.
Wow.
But I was like, yeah, I'm not finna talk about what's happening on Twitter. I don't even have a Twitter account. So I'm like, my stuff gonna have to come from a different way. But I noticed that TikTok like when I talk about Christianity. Thing is, I don't want to be talking about Christianity out, so I gotta switch up my mindset because I'm like, look, I like dressing up, I like styling. I'm gonna say I'm about to start doing more of that too, as well. But I'm just like, I talk about Christianity, but I don't want that to be like my main focus on my page. But they love it. That gets them going, being a little controversial, you know. But I'm like, you know, I see other people not talking about it and are getting the views. So I'm like, that's something I had to do within myself, right? I had to change my mindset regarding what TikTok wants to see from me. So, you know,
I think what
I know
people
it's
have
a
to
man
understand
thing.
with TikTok as well is just understanding that, you know, we are the product, right? What would
Right.
these platforms be without us, without our engagement, without our content? And like you said, to you know, to kind of piggyback off your point, where it's like, yeah, you know, they don't get the same respect or the same, you know, yeah, this the same respect in terms of like maybe like a Mojo or a Desi or you know in the comedic lane or you know just yeah in that thing. But like you said, they're making more money, making more headway. They're able to control their own dollar where they're not having to have so many different middlemen, so many
Right.
bookkeepers integrated in their transactions and their dealings. And along with the music industry, I think Tory Lanez was spearheading where he was able to, you know, create a, yeah, he was able to really get them, you know, eliminate the middleman, and he was able to reach out to his consumers directly, and made I think 1 million or something in you know in the course of like under a minute or something like that, based upon you know what he was doing. So I do see that there is a what you used to call it like things coming on their head where you know the general public is being more awakened to what's going on behind the scenes, and now we're able to maneuver and navigate a lot better because the playing field has definitely leveled, and that definitely brings you know that, and that even goes on a business level, right? Because I deal with business mentors and things of that nature, like things corporations, the Googles, the Apples, and you know all those companies and how they're structured, how they're wheeling and dealing. Those that information is being handed down or being exposed to people like myself, and on you know wanting to venture out in that lane and create a different type of lifestyle. So it's available, and that's what I definitely just want to impress upon you know us, the audience, you know, whatever you want to do, it is available, right? There is no shortage. There is no lack of,
Yeah.
just in terms of just what we believe in, what we, you know, our self concept. And I actually have to, you know, also work on that myself as well. And one thing I wanted to say lastly was I do love forgiveness. I do love the way the book is able to really break down forgiveness. And forgiveness has been such an egotistical hold in the past for me because it was like that's the only thing I had to reference my impression and not to be uh, vulnerable or not to be hurt or not to be you know dismayed or you know in the past by whatever type of situation, family, friends, just in my ignorant way of not being able to know that my mind, you know, the power of my mind. And so forgiveness definitely supports your and even if you don't know it yet, just kind of revel in the you know the knowing of what forgiveness is, the power of forgiveness. And it doesn't necessarily mean you gotta you know it's gonna take away all that aggression or whatever that is, but your mind's able to be debased. Your mind's able to come back on a base level to where you're not sided on one way or another, where you're able to take it in account from an unbiased perspective that it's me, I control this, I control the vibe, whatever I say goes, and I see it from I reference from the 3D to what I want. And I think that's a good analogy that we had referenced earlier. Like we use the 3D. The 3D is our stepping stool. The 3D is the stepping stone to what we want. And I just love just having these experiences and these kind of concepts so I can really like apply these things, because application is popping, right? I definitely love being able to see things throughout the week, how things plan out based upon our conversations. um, and I'm loving the just the manifestation of just empowering myself. And it doesn't always have to be. I can see that I don't have to look to empower anybody else. By me empowering myself, things are empowered, or things are um, just shed it off. I don't know how to really explain it. It's not a problem. It's not a Yeah. It's not an issue if things, from what I perceived before, everything was a problem. Everything was an issue. Everything was I'm not a control freak, but I just don't like things being out of control. Coming from jail, coming from gangs, coming from street life. Like, you got to control everything. You know what I'm saying? You got to have your head on a swivel. You got to be able to know how to politic, in any different fashion, and you got to know how commerce works, right? You got to know how, value, and in order to survive in certain landscapes. And so, yeah, just appreciative again of just the shares and the exposure of just the good information we're given here.
Beautiful. Yes. And we love your shares too. We love your input. You definitely be dropping those gems as well. Yeah, especially with you, having 3 businesses. So, you're definitely an inspiration for some, especially those who may want to get into the non-for-profit space, and understand that giving back to the community and what so have you, and in whatever form or fashion you deem, necessary, or wherever your heart is, whatever, that's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so anyone have any questions in the chat before we get out of here? Anyone had any questions on manifesting? Anything that maybe you have heard that may have been contrary to what we've said here? Because I know it's a lot of information out there. I know you're going to hear a lot of schools of thought, and it's not necessarily that any one way is wrong or right. It's really about what resonates with you. And I'm just really about, let's keep it simple and easy. And I know we've been programmed to difficulty and hard and struggle and strain, but it's all about lifting up that burden and remembering that your yoke should be easy and your burden should be light. As I said yesterday, it should be ease on down the road. Don't carry nothing that will be a load. So you got to choose to let go of the heavy burden, surrender it. And so, manifesting really is easy because you do it every day and you've been doing it all your life. It's just that sometimes we get caught up in looking at somebody else's yard. We keep looking over the fence and looking at our neighbor, right? And we get like, oh, how did they get that? Oh, I want that. Oh, they did this. Oh, how did they do that? The life of comparison, as they say, is the thief of joy. You're not here to live according to anyone else's standard. You're to create your own. You're to recognize you're the standard. You are the standard. So what standard are you creating for yourself? You're your only standard.
You're the director. You're the director of your movie. You're the director, the casting director, the writer, the extra, the lead. You're everything. So it's what you are, what you're saying, what you're thinking habitually is what you're going to see. And again, the 3D is not your enemy. Get that out of your head. It's not your enemy. It is your servant. So
I thought you was about to sing, Gigi. It sounded like you was about to.
It did sound like she was about to sing.
It sounded like you was about to sing.
Right.
It is your servant. The 3D is not your enemy.
You gotta watch out for Gigi. She's already ready.
I sure thought you was about to turn it into a song.
I'm a songwriter. So. But and if you gotta sing that to yourself, sing it. The 3D.
Yeah, so ask any questions you may have before we leave, guys. If you had any questions or you had a success story or whatever, how the law has been working for you. Because here's the thing, the law's always working. You just want it to work for you, to your benefit. You want to stop creating a hell and create heaven. You want to lean into life, lean into enjoying life, loving life, being peaceful with life. I mean, when you really sit and think about it, now that you've awakened to the truth, right? We're not talking about to those who are still in the sleep state. We're talking about those who've awakened on this path. if you really sit down and really think about your life, really sit where you are, you can say, I really have a good life. Any problems I have, I really created them, because nothing really is going on here. Nothing is really going on. I have a place to live, right? I have food, I have clothing, I have money, I'm doing the thing that I love, whether it's in business or whether, whatever it is that you're choosing to do, whether you're a stay-at-home wife or whether you're in music, whether, like Gigi is an entertainer. She sings, she writes, she performs. And then we have A-Town, who has 3 businesses, and he's helping his community and helping others. And here I am, I'm a quote, in quotation marks, a content creator. And I'm a stay-at-home wife. I do what I want to do when I feel like doing it. And that is truly, truly a blessing. But if we really set, right? And not to say that there are some things you will want to be different. I'm not saying that, because we all want something, we want to be different, right? But if things never got different and things just happen to be exactly where they are, can you be at peace with that? Can you, as Paul say, whatever state I find myself in, I have learned to be content.
Right. Yeah, be thankful for the things that you have. Be thankful. I mean, he even says it here in this chapter, to be thankful for the things that you have. Be thankful for the food that you eat. Be thankful for, even if it's like your favorite candy bar, be thankful for it. And just know that, forgiveness. I mean, this chapter, I mean, we can talk about this chapter till, be a whole month and we'll still be talking about it. Because it just has a lot of good nuggets, has a lot of good gems. There is no evil. That's all a state of mind. Sex isn't evil. Certain foods are not evil. Certain foods are not bad for you. Money's not evil. It's just your perception. And the beauty about it is it's not set in stone. It can be changed. You can change your perception. Just like the guy that was a murderer and now he's a new man. He's not that same guy that he was years ago. The person that, I think he killed his own brother or something like that. And it's like everybody forgave him, but he didn't forgive himself. Yeah. And then once he forgave himself, he was able to accept that new person that he is today. So forgiveness is key. And love yourself. I mean, radiate love. Show love to yourself. Show love to others. Radiate love around you. Laughter, happiness. There ain't nothing wrong with being too happy. Why? Why is it okay to be depressed, but it's not okay to be too happy? I don't know.
Isn't that something? And that kind of boggles the mind, the way that people don't think it's okay to be happy. They're like, oh, it's like when I say different on some of my posts on TikTok, right? And especially when I'm talking about, your God and, you're creator of your reality. And they're like, oh, you're going to find out when life starts beating you upside the head, or when something happens, don't go calling on Jesus. Like they're looking for something for the bottom to fall out. Like they're waiting for some negative thing to happen so you can, so they can prove to you that, oh, you're not what you thought you were. Or it's just like, it's just mind blowing that we have really been conditioned to believe that you don't be too happy. Because even he said that someone said that in one of those chapters, right? The lady asked him, "Is it right to feel this happy?"
Yeah. Yeah.
She was like, "Is it right for me to feel that?" And because when you come from religion, especially Christianity, and it's always like there's a devil lurking around every corner, right? Like if you're a believer, expect the devil to come and pounce on you on any given moment. So you wouldn't even allow yourself to be happy, right? And it's the unpacking of that mentality that, you have to stop thinking that life is out to get you and life is out to do you in, right? Because that was the programming you received. Like how life is looking to just beat you up and spit you out.
Well, it's the opposite. Life loves you.
Yeah.
Life loves you. Life wants you to have, God wants you to have life and have it more abundantly. This is all in the Bible. So I'm like, when they start talking this part of my friends is shit that you're supposed to like
That ain't
that
friends.
the bottom is gonna fall out or this and this and that's. I'm like, where is that in the book that you guys use in church? Where does it say this in the book? Because the book says the complete opposite. It says like God, you have life and to have it more abundantly. He didn't come to condemn it. He came to save it. No, he didn't come to condemn it. He came to not to condemn it, but oh God, I can't think of that scripture now. But anyway, you probably know it. But you know, it speaks
Right,
to
yeah, he came to fulfill all things. Bring fullness to all things, right? Not to destroy anything. Right.
And so it's like when I see somebody like having a good time, laughing, I mean, it just brings me joy. I'd rather see that. I'd rather see somebody laugh their ass off than see somebody depressed. I'd rather see people kiss and hug each other than see them fighting. I'd rather see somebody, you know, it's just joy. Because it's like everywhere you look on TV, social media, it's like, it's just either violence, depression, you know, and it's like you literally have to force yourself, okay, I'm going to put on a Cheech and Chong movie so I can laugh for about a good hour and a half of all these stupid antics that they do. I've seen the Cheech and Chong movies 100 and gazillion times, and it just keeps getting funnier. But it's like, you know, something that brings joy. I'm going to pick up my guitar and play it, you know, because it brings me joy. I'm going to play my keyboard because it brings me joy. I'm going to go for a walk because it brings me joy. I'm going to eat an Oreo cookie. Ugh, Oreo. I'm going to eat an Oreo cookie because it brings me joy. You know, we've got to have some joy in our lives. It just can't always be, you know, sadness and depression. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What's wrong with having too much joy? You know what? Laugh. I mean, I'd rather see you laugh. I mean, little kids are perfect examples. I mean, I love watching little kids play because little kids will just sit there and they will laugh. No idea what the heck they're laughing about. And they will laugh there for about a good 15, 20 minutes. And you'll start laughing with them. Like, you know, my little like nieces and stuff, like they'll sit there and they'll laugh. And my like people ask me, what's so funny? I'm like, I have no idea, but I'm having a good time with them. To a wedding. And they sit there and they're dancing. And I mean, I went to a friend's wedding and I literally was dancing with she's like 15 years old now, but at the time she was like maybe 5 or 6 years old. And I was dancing with a 6-year-old that whole entire wedding because that's the only person that got up on the dance floor and was having a good time. And I said to my husband, I'm going to go dance with her because at least she knows how to have fun. And I mean, I must have danced with her for like 4 hours and I had a blast with that little girl. She was such a blessing at that wedding. I ended up having fun because she was I mean, they're playing some really good music, you know, some Earth, Wind, and Fire. They're playing, I mean, some stuff that you got to shake your butt to. And I'm like, how can these people stand still? And this little girl was just dancing to everything. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go dance with her.
Yep. Yeah, so yeah, choose happiness, guys. Choose peace.
Happiness.
And pursue it. Forgiveness is key. Forgiveness is key. Forgiveness is key. If you don't forgive, then you will not be forgiven. You'll be stuck in that state, right? You'll keep looking back. You'll keep pointing fingers. You won't really truly experience the peace, harmony, and love that is there waiting for you to claim it. It is required that you claim it. You do have to choose it. Choose it. Choose happiness, right? Happiness is a choice. It is a choice. So, you know, and it's a choice to forgive people, to loose and let them go. Let them go freely, peacefully, lovingly, joyously. Allow them to flourish, because here's the thing. Because you're thinking that thought, you're creating it for yourself. Remember, anything you give to another, you're really giving to yourself. So the thoughts that you're thinking, would you want someone to think of that about you? And if you wouldn't, then stop it. Because guess what? You're thinking it about you because you're the only one thinking it. So you're the only one creating it. So if you wouldn't want these thoughts to come back to you, then don't think them.
Yep.
So, I mean,
you know what? I forgave that person. Why are you coming back? I forgave that person. Let that go.
Yeah, and forgiving the person is giving forth that which you would like to receive. So it's more than just saying forgive, right? It's like, I wish them nothing but blessings, prosperity, abundance, joy, peace in all that they do. I pray that they flourish in all endeavors, right? Because that prayer is also for you. That's why when people say, oh, I prayed for this person, like the story of Job, right? And the friends all around him telling him, why don't you just curse God? Why don't you just do this? Why don't you just do that? Why you know what happened when he prayed for them? It was lifted off of him, right? Because what you do for another, you're actually doing for you. And praying for them took the problem off of himself, right? He forgot all about his situation. And once he took his mind off his problem and started to bless others, he realized he was actually blessing himself. Because why? There is no other. There's only God. There's only the I am. Everyone is you pushed out. We just have to keep that at the forefront of our mind, that the things that we're thinking, we're creating. What we're thinking about another, we're really thinking about ourselves, because we are the only thinker. No one else is having the thought but you. Since you're the only one having the thought, you're the only one creating it. You're creating the experience. That's why you want to think lovingly of another, because there is no other. They're you. That's the part we have to get impressed upon the subconscious. They are you. There is nothing else. It's only you and your world. Everyone else is just a figment of your imagination. Remember, they're just you. They're there because you drew them to you. So if you find something in them that you don't like, you're really saying what you don't like about you. Stop being so defensive. Be vulnerable. Be at peace. Be loving. Be kind. That's heaven. That's the heaven. And then you don't have to worry about if you're going to have enough money, where you're going to live, what you're going to eat. Those things are supplied to you. Like you said earlier, Gigi, if you know how to give good gifts to your children, do your Heavenly Father know not how to give good gifts to you?
Right.
He said, if you ask for food, he's not going to give you a stone.
Right. I'm paraphrasing, but if you ask for a hot dog, he's not going to give you a snake.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's something else that he uses when he uses those. I'm just paraphrasing. If you ask for a Nathan's hot dog, he's not going to give you a snake. So if we, when we ask each other things, we know how to give good gifts. How much more does our Father in heaven? How much more does God in us, the universe in us, give? How much more? Yeah. So, and you know what? If you're forgiving, and to make it a little easier, you can forgive yourself too. Forgive them and forgive you, and wish those good things upon them, and then wish them upon you as well.
Yep.
It's
important that you forgive yourself. Yes. Forgiving yourself is the key. That's the first person to forgive, because that's when you let go of the hurt, the hatred, the remorse, the guilt, the shame. Because yes, a lot of us that come from a religious background, there's a lot of shame and guilt being just impressed upon you, right? Because you're told over and over again how unworthy you were, how displeased God is with you, that you're a sinner, that you never did anything right, you did this, you did that, life was just, you thought that you were doing something, but God, no, God, and he got problems with you, and so you're carrying this burden around with you of guilt and shame and regret and remorse. And that's why you're told to stop condemning yourself, because there's therefore now no condemnation. There's no one's condemning you but you. So stop it.
How you forgive yourself, A-Town, or how we forgive ourselves, is by simply saying, I forgive myself. Gigi, I forgive me. I forgive you, Gigi, or I forgive me. That situation, I forgive that situation. I forgive me for what I did and for what I didn't do. I forgive me. I forgive them for what they did or what they didn't do. I forgive them. I forgive me. And I'll even say this, and I let it go. I forgive this, and I let it go. And if it comes back, you repeat it. I forgive them, and I let it go. If somebody happens to mention them to you, and you still feel that little sting, let that sting be there. And even if you're kind of begrudgingly saying, "Oh, gee, that's great, good for them, yeah, good for them," and in your mind you're saying, "Yeah, I forgive them, I let them go, good for them." It doesn't matter how you say it; just keep saying you're practicing forgiveness, and then eventually somebody will mention them to you, but good for them. That this thing won't even be there anymore, because you're practicing forgiving them and forgiving yourself just by simply saying you forgive yourself. and whatever goes with that, you know, once you say it, that'll whatever feelings or whatever goes with that will come with it.
Right.
So
Because it's about not condemning yourself. That's how you forgive
right,
yourself. You're not condemning. You're not living in shame and guilt or remorse or regret. That's how you forgive yourself. You're not beating yourself over for the mistake, for the mishap, for the wrong deed, right? You're saying, "Oh, it was just an experience. I forgive myself. I didn't know, but now I know, and I'm not going to hold myself hostage to that mistake, right? I'm not going to
right.
live in guilt or shame anymore."
You're gonna punish yourself. No, you don't need to punish yourself. You gotta be, oh why? Oh, why did I do this?
Hmm.
This is a horrible and you know what? And if you go through that, go through it. Okay, fine. Go through that part. Oh, why? Go, okay, let that out. Let it out. Whew. And then okay, right. But I forgive myself. I forgive myself. Oh, but I forgive myself. Yep.
Yeah, because sometimes you have to cry. There is a time to cry. There is a
Yeah.
time to mourn, to grieve, right? Like, don't quench the spirit. Let it live, let it loose.
Yep. Let it loose.
Yep, yep. Crying cleanses you. It's
Yes.
a purification process. So allow yourself. It doesn't make you a bad person or make you a weak person because you cry. No, it's releasing all of that pent up anger and resentment.
It cleanses you.
Yeah.
I actually think if a lot of people were allow themselves to, because for some reason we've been conditioned that if you cry you're weak or you're there's something wrong, and it's actually the complete opposite. I think if people were allow themselves to cry and to feel and to let that be there and then let it do its thing and then let it go, I don't think there'd be that much therapy or need for any
Yep.
depression
I
medication,
agree.
because it's like once I have a good cry, I feel better. It's like my husband will even ask me, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "I don't know. Something's bothering me. I just got, oh, okay." And he'll console me, and I'll let it out of he'll be like, "Okay, baby, just let it out." And I'll let it out of my system. And he'll be like, "Honey, let it out. That's fine. I won't tell. I'm not going to post it on TikTok that you cried. Don't worry about it. Don't put it on Facebook or call TMZ. Don't worry about it." And you'll feel better. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Even after my brother and I, both our parents died. My mother in 2016, and then my dad in 2020. And at times when we talk about our parents, or my dad or whatever, he'll cry and he'll feel. I'm like, "No, Renee, cry, let it out. It's fine. You're amongst family," and he'll feel better. So if you gotta cry, cry. If you gotta scream, scream. If you gotta let it out, let it out. If you gotta go hit a punching bag, hit a punching bag. You gotta go for a walk, go for a walk. If let it out. And then once you let it out, bring yourself to what, focusing on what you want. If you don't do it at that very moment, that's okay. You do it the next day. It doesn't matter. It's all working out for you. It all works out for your good. You didn't ruin anything.
Nope. That's good. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, I guess that's all for today, guys. That's all, folks. What was that cartoon? That's all, folks. Gigi, we definitely got to plan a day to meet up in downtown Chicago. Since we getting this beautiful weather, the summer is upon us.
Yes,
so
yes, I'd love to meet you face to face. My husband wants to meet you too, because I talk about you all the time. He's like, "Oh, I want to meet that lady T." I was like, "Oh, you got to meet. You'll love her. You'll love her."
Thank you, Alexa. Yes, happy Father's Day to everyone. Any fathers in the chat, welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your day with your father. If your father is still, or any father figure in your life or in your world, or however you see fit. Enjoy this wonderful day. It's beautiful here in Chicago, so we're gonna have. Yes. So no barbecue. No, we're not barbecuing. My husband, he's doing. I'm gonna find out what he want to eat. Maybe we'll go out. See if he want to go catch a brunch or something now, and we'll see. Because I think we got some brunch spots that's open till 3. So
cool.
And then I'll probably also dine out as well. Probably, see what we can DoorDash. We don't really DoorDash. We'll go pick it up, but we'll see what he wants to do. But he likes working on his wood products. So I know he's building me a mobile bar. So
Nice.
yeah, and then he has my uncle wants him to build him one as well. So yeah, so he has a couple of projects under his belt. Yeah, so thank you, Sheila. Thank you, A-Town. Thank you guys for joining, for coming up. As always, Gigi, we're the dynamic duo. You always come through and come join and offer.
Your wonderful powers activate.
I know, right? I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone that came through, everyone that, shared and listened. Hopefully, you're getting something out of this book because it has so much to offer. Yes, it really will help you transforming your mind. He really is doing what Romans 12:2 says, to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. He's actually telling you how to renew your mind in every facet of your life. So next week, we'll be reading 18, 19, and 20. So we're almost at the end. We only got 2 more weeks for this book. Next week.
Wow.
And then the final week will be chapters 21 and chapters 22. So next week is 18, 19, and 20. If you're looking for some encouragement, go to the link tree in my bio. I offer free books, The Recipe for Life, 30-Day Transformation Journey, and Daily Diamond Gems. Also, come join the Facebook group, and you can catch these lives, the recap on YouTube. I also upload YouTube shorts, so you may see me on the shorts as well. So subscribe to YouTube, follow me on TikTok. I appreciate all gifts, all likes, all shares. Thank you once again for joining us, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, everybody.
Catch you next week. Catch you Wednesday. I'll probably be Wednesday, and whenever I feel like it, I'm gonna stop trying to adhere to to a schedule. I'm going to come on whenever I feel like it, right? I'll be like, because I came on yesterday. I was on this live for like 4 hours, girl. So, right now is Wednesday unless I decide to come on sooner. We'll see. But, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. A-Town, you trying to come back up? Did you want something to say? A-Town? Yes, it was great. Yes. Happy Father's Day, all. Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the gifts. Also, feel free to like and follow me on my page as well. I have music on there. I have my own originals, and I'm actually, thank you so much, T, for saying that about posting. I'm going to start posting more. I'm going to start doing that. So I'm glad that you talked about that. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's enough for everybody to go around. It's 1 billion people on this app. Yes, you can get your 100K, your 200K, your 1 million if that's your desire, but you do have to be present, right? Like, you do have to show up. That's what it is about these social media apps. They do reward those who are consistent, who show up regularly, right? So, and just have fun with it. That's all I can say. Have fun with it. Don't put too much pressure on you, and let it do what it do. Yep.
Yeah. Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah. So see you guys later. Have a wonderful Sunday. Bye-bye.
See you soon.